How's it going, all you scale model car junkies out there? Welcome to the Scale Model Car Podcast with your hosts, BG, Chuck, Luka, and Jason.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but we are so delightful. We have the lights turned down low, so let's start the show. Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Scale Model Car Podcast. This is your friend, Mr. BG, along with your hosts, Chuck from Chuck's Hobby Spot, Matt from the Luka C channel,
Howdy.
Jason from the Blue Ox Model Shop.
Hi, everybody.
And we have two extra spare tires on our model car today. We have Ted from Rattlecan Shenanigans.
What is going on, my fellow shenanigans?
There it is. And Billy Strange from Billy Strange Auto Models.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us today. I know Billy had a kind of a busy night last night being on the live cast with those guys, which we all love and respect.
Those guys.
But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Boy, was
fellows.
it wide open.
Wide open it was. All right, cool. We're going
wide open. It was a fun.
If you're a fan of our podcast, please go over and check out the AMC live cast that they have. They have their own channel for that now, and you can see a lot of the folks that we talked to also there, but here. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
All right, now just want to do a little cross pollination, as they say there. We're going to start off with our round table segment, and we'll spin the wheel and start with Chuck. Chuck, what you got going on the bench and or channel?
I have a lot on the bench now. I have the 37 Ford Coupe that I've sent all you guys pictures of. You guys seen that, right? Cut the doors up and everything. I have the Dodge Dart.
That's two.
And I had something else.
Pizza?
The Camaro. The 68 Camaro group build. And I have a small scale build that I'm gonna get on pretty soon, that Corvette.
So that's four builds on your bench right now?
Two small scales, actually.
You have 5 builds on your bench right now. How many do you usually have on your bench at a given time?
2. Usually 2.
Just 2?
Yeah, it's hard to build. Oh no, I got the El Camino too.
So that's 6.
I was gonna say we can count today.
And my bench is a mess. I mean, it's a mess.
But you're loving it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be this busy. I'll tell you that.
Exactly right.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite of all of them right now?
It's always the one that's almost done. I mean, I would have to say it's the Dart, but I'm really starting to get a squirrel with the 37 Coupe. So,
oh, right on. Yeah, you're getting pretty happy with that one.
Yeah.
So for you, your favorites, the ones that are kind of getting close to being done. It's just like kids, right? The one that's mostly grown up and out of the house is your favorite.
Isn't always our last model our favorite?
No.
No,
not at the G Model Workshop. No, we go for completion over perfection here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's spin the wheel again and get on to Matt.
Oh, yay. Well, I'm just working on my USAC build, working on the engine part, contemplating whether I might want to make another how to detail an engine video. I have a video like that that's really old, and there's a lot of stuff since I made that one, and it's like my biggest video on my channel. I still get comments almost a couple times a week on it, and it's constantly gets views. And I do some things different, and there's new product out since I did that one. So I think I might use my USAC engine as a new one. We'll see. So I got some cool stuff to use on that one.
I like that idea.
Got the chassis pretty much all done, and getting the body prepped. I want to put some primer on it, and boy, oh boy, I'm going to be doing that dreaded yellow. So we'll see how that goes. And
you got this.
Just trying to. Yeah, I think we will. I'm going to do the. Everybody was saying pink primer. I'm going to use I think it's chrome yellow, the Tamiya rattle can, chrome
yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was you showed me a couple of spoons you did, and you showed where you shot it over the pink primer. I really liked that hue that it had with the pink primer. So can't find any pink primer for some reason. Like Andy's ordering it, and it's not coming in. So I might have to mix up my own, but we got to get that pink down so I can put that yellow down, because that stuff seems to be magical for some colors. So that's pretty much what's going on my messy bench, and just doing the video thing on the channel. I did a reaction to Round 2's announcement of they got 3 newly tooled kits coming out this year that were pretty cool. If anybody's seen that was pretty neat. That was
I did see that.
Yep.
Those are brand new kits or just retooled kits? Those are just retooled, right?
That kind of sort of. They're based off of old kits, but they had to actually, the bodies, I believe with all 3 of them, are completely new tooling, kind of off of the old, way old annuals, however they get the plans or whatever they get. But the bodies are all brand new. That's a whole nother subject, and it's interesting because I've been getting some feedback from some of the people that have talked to the guys at Round 2 at shows. Really good conversation in my comments on that video, and they talk about why they went with basing it off of this kit instead of that kit, like especially the dusters. I complained a year ago about when they came out with that Demon that was based off of the old annual dusters and Demons back in the 90s when they came out with that nice chassis under the 71 Duster. Why didn't they base it off of that? Well, there actually is a really good reason. And in the comments, there's a couple people enough people said it that I want to really investigate this. It's kind of interesting about how all technology and the modeling works over the years. I'm pretty excited about those, but that was a fun video to make, and I want to do more. I like doing those reaction videos. They're fun. So more to come from the Luka C channel.
Right.
And that's it.
And thank you, Matt. And let's go to Ted.
Oh,
what you got going on, sir?
Well, right now, the stuff that I've got on my bench, it's a combination of the USAC build and my pile of shame. I've managed to put together. Yeah, I've managed to put together a couple of those stalled builds, and while I finished one entirely, I've got 2 that are like right at the finish line. But they've been competing for bench time when I have it with the USAC build, and because I'm being fairly ridiculous with my take on the Revell 68 Dart, it's been taking a lot more time than some of my older builds. But those are probably the big 3 or 4, and the battle that I constantly fight in the war that I'll never win is making sure that I don't make an excuse or talk myself into printing more 3D parts, because that has become a competing hobby all in and of itself.
I know.
Right.
We talked about that last night.
It did come up, yes.
I was warned when I got into that hobby that it's a whole second hobby.
Yeah. It's like when people talk about model building and model collection being 2 different things, like same thing applies, I feel, with 3D printing, because it's like, oh, I'll use this to enhance my builds and to, kind of like work alongside so that I can take my creations to the next level, which is usually like one of the most naive ways of approaching things. I personally didn't know any better when I jumped in, but as soon as I started careening down that rabbit hole at terminal velocity, I realized that I was in for a little something, shall we say.
3D printing is not kind to people that suffer from ADHD or anything like that with the squirrel syndrome. I can tell you. I'll never forget that picture you sent me. You were dormant for 6 months, and you're like, sends me a text out of the blue with a big picture of a pile of tires and wheels on his bench. He's like, get a 3D printer, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I haven't touched anything for 3 months on my bench.
Yep.
I've been there, done that, and you know what? yesterday I came home from work saying, you know what? I'm going to work on that dart. I'm going to get some chassis stuff done. And I ended up supporting files all night long. I didn't touch anything.
Under stuff.
Yep. All I did was support a figure of all things. So wasn't even a car.
Is there some sort of level of therapeutic, like catharsis or something by just adding those little supports onto something?
No, the cool thing is watching it done and taking it off there. Like Ted said, it's a whole other hobby. It's a second hobby. It just is. It can take up twice the amount of time building models can. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gets worse when you factor in the idea of 3D file creation. I mean, yeah, we all think like, oh yeah, it's just a natural evolution, just like you scratch build with styrene and the like. But yeah, it is such a complicated labyrinth to navigate, and it will gobble up all sorts of time. And I look no further than my dormant channel that hasn't had anything uploaded to it for the last 6 months. It's not that I haven't built,
and you know what?
Going on.
I have that problem too. Like you'll see me disappear off of YouTube for a while, and everybody says you need to put up a video, and it'll be a month.
Right. Well, I just had the idea for the most cruelest group build ever, where you have to print a model and then build it.
Oh,
feel free to run with that, YouTube.
That twice, so
I can do that.
Like,
I mean, I would.
Sounds like I'll be hosting with Chuck.
Yeah, you guys should host a group build. But it has to be like a 48-hour group build, right? It has to be a time limit. So
no, it'll take longer than that to print a whole model.
Exactly.
Just hit that double arrow button. Speed it up. It's how hard can it be? I mean, really.
Just click and drag.
You just need to go faster button, right?
Just move
Come on.
move the slider.
Even with 3D printers, it'll take that long. It'll take a couple days to get a whole kit done.
Okay, we'll make it longer. We'll make it 50 hours. Does that sound better? Can you do that?
Yeah, let me get back to you on that.
and it's got to be a GTO.
It's got to be a GTO, yeah. Well, wait a second. We didn't say what size it has to be. We could make it a smaller scale, like a 1/32. That might take a little less time, right? Or a 1/64.
Yeah, and I didn't buy a machine that had like a 10-inch build plate so that I could make like a 1/64 scale model. I got that specifically so that I could cater to my first addiction, scale model car. So yeah, we're staying 1/24 and 1/25 up in here. Love you.
Fair enough. Ted says like and subscribe. Okay.
That's right.
Mr. Jason, how's about you? What you got going on, sir?
Well, we've had a lot of cold weather and a lot of snow, so I haven't had a lot of time for bench stuff. I did manage to finish my USAC build, which should be no surprise to any of you because I always finish my group builds first. It's what I do. USAC is done. I started on the Tamiya GTR for an appreciation group build for this guy named BG, I think.
GB.
We got that in primer.
Nice.
And then we got the Tamiya Jaguar Saloon, Mark II Saloon. That's actually in paint. So maybe I did get well, what it is staying up until midnight, 1 a.m. because I can't sleep. So I get to do stuff like that. But
yeah, so you're able to build while you're not comfortable.
Right, exactly. And as far as the channel goes, we're cranking away on those Saturday night stash spotlight videos still. Those are doing really well. And
Good.
Yep, that's about it.
Are you planning on doing another was it live casting with Mike?
Yeah, so my plan is to do those. I have a plan to do it every week, but like last week, it was nice of Mike to broadcast it on my channel, even though I wasn't there because I was plowing snow. And just like we're getting another foot of snow tomorrow night, so
Gosh.
I'll probably get home just in time Sunday to actually sit down and do that with Mike this week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a lot of fun doing that live cast. Is nice to be able to talk to people that have questions and things like that. I enjoy it. Yeah.
I had to miss it last week because we had family party here and stuff. But yeah, it's like I was there for the first one.
Hey, we both missed it last week. Oh, yeah. He's got this guy that sits in with him. I don't know about him though. It's some Justin something. Yeah. Justin crying or
Justin crying, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
Justin Krylon, whatever his name is.
Oh, Justin.
There you go.
Justin Krylon, the Rust-Oleum King.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that pipe bomb to show up in the mail this weekend.
Yeah, right. And that's all I got.
You got plenty going on over there, I'm sure. And then Billy, what have you got going on, my friend?
Well, I have been trying to finish this rally car that has been taking me way too long. It's the Tamiya 205 Turbo Works rally car. I have messed up the body. I can't tell you how many times. Finally got it. The paint's good again. So all I got to do now is shoot a light coat of clear on it so I can put the decals on. Hopefully that goes well. And I'm literally at the stage of that and just putting windows in it, final assembly, and it will be done. And that kind of coincides with kind of like a season 2 / relaunch of my channel, because I've kind of been learning how I want to do this model car thing on YouTube. So I was using that as a relaunch, and I didn't anticipate it taking me this long. So I got some ideas, and I was kind of using that as kind of the launching pad for that. So as soon as I get this done, I'll have more content, not just with that model car build, but I've got some other ideas that'll go along with that. And then while I was waiting for my reorder of decals and stuff, I did manage to start my GTO. I mean, I started the engine.
It's a very pretty engine.
Or the Dodge Dart, rather.
The Dodge Dart, rather. I was going to say.
Look, Chuck got me on the GTO thing, and then that just
don't drop it.
Hold it up to the camera again.
Anyway, bad joke. So, yeah, I'm doing the 69 Dodge Dart GTS, the Revell kit, and while I was waiting, I started figuring out the paint, tracking down a set of wheels and tires, trying to figure out how I just wanted to drop it just a little bit, and I've got all that done.
5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not 5 feet. Not a good idea.
Don't drop it 5. Look, we're on the GTO thing again. We're going to get it stuck in my brain. So, yeah, I've got the engine started on that. As soon as I can get the rally car out of the way, the Dodge Dart, the USAC will get done.
I have a question for you, Billy, if you don't mind me asking real quick.
Go ahead.
With that rally car, once that's done, what rally car are you going to build for our group build?
I've suffered trauma with this one. I think I saved up all of my paint issues for whatever reason with this build. So it's been nothing but trauma. This thing is cursed. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I definitely will need to take a break, and I've got other group builds, like I pointed out last night. I have other group builds as well that I need to get done back here. So I've got to figure out how to juggle that and the rally car stuff. I've got some ideas. I've got a few that I've gotten recently that I'm really excited about, especially that one I got from NNL West that I showed you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Revell Germany Subaru that I think would be really cool, because I'm really impressed with the way that thing looks. So that might be the one.
Which is probably a Hasegawa kit.
Probably.
Yeah. So that one looks super neat. So that might be the one that gets done. I'm not totally positive yet, though.
Very cool. Well, if I can offer you some advice on juggling, don't go see Chuck for lessons.
Womp womp. Ouch.
It's going to stay with you forever,
So
Chuck.
true.
It is, and I
Yeah.
get it.
But
It should.
no,
I mean, that was
look,
a really dumb thing I did.
Oh,
But-
it'll be on a T-shirt soon. Don't you worry.
Listen,
I know.
eventually it won't be funny anymore, and then we'll just
but
stop.
it prompted you to turn around and make an award-winning build. So
And you're right.
Oh,
I
God.
don't think I would have double. I mean, you're right. I was very ambitious after that. I was hungry after that. So, and it did help.
But like I
You
said at the
are
show, when he won, I said at the show, yeah, you built that in anger.
I did.
Yeah, it's true. Chuck
Yeah.
is a Sith Lord because he
It was
channeled
amazing.
his anger and fear into that model and came out with something that was just as sinister.
Well, obviously, it
Oh,
was on my
that-
channel, so I
that
had to
is-
do it. So I mean, it was like I was
That
calling
model
myself
is
out.
sinister looking.
Yeah.
Yep.
In person,
good.
it's way
was
nicer in
impressive.
person, and I appreciate it.
It is.
Really do.
It is definitely it was impressive. It was kind of blew me away when I saw it, just because I know what you went through. It's just same with like what Billy's going through. You guys
It's tough,
It's just-
man.
bend my mind. I mean, the simplest little thing when I'm building a model, coming off to where it goes into the box and never touched again, like which got brought up by somebody else yesterday. I might have to bring it to the model meeting tomorrow. Is that Willie's one little thing wrong with it? It's like, you guys are inspiring me to get over that dumb shit and just finish these models.
There's only one. I mean, one other time that could compare to that GTO that I've had, and it was probably the same thing Billy's going through. Was that VW Red Bull car? Remember
Bell
that I accidentally sanded it with paint
the
thinner?
Bell Kits car kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Classic.
to repaint that thing like
Classic
3 or
mistake.
4 times.
yeah, mine's just purely I don't want to give up just because I won't learn. You know, I'm learning as I'm making these mistakes, and if I just put it in the box, I'm not going to learn what I did wrong, and I'm not going to learn how to fix it either. So I need to keep
that's good though.
pushing through it.
That's
and
an excellent
I
point.
don't yeah,
Very
and I
good.
don't get super frustrated with it. Like, yeah, I'm disappointed that I made the mistake. But if I don't keep trying to rectify the mistake, and you know, I either ask you guys or I ask my dad, people in the club, or look it up on YouTube, whatever fix I need to do, and did I fix it right? And if I didn't fix it right, how do I go through the process of fixing it again? It's purely just so that in my next build, if I encounter the same problem, at least I know how to fix it easily the next time. And if I never went through that process, well, am I just going to stop the next time I encounter that? Or am I already going to have the tools available to me because I went through the process already? So that's mainly why I just didn't put it in the box. And it's all silly mistakes that I've been making. Like, I did that. I'm like, oh, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, let's start over. Let's fix this. You know, so
Isn't
that's
isn't that what
go ahead.
What's cool is you're
Isn't
a
that
good
what
builder. A few
you said,
kits
Chuck?
in. What? I can't hear him. What?
Isn't that what you said, Chuck? Isn't that what you said, Chuck? When it nosedive? Oh, that was dumb.
Oh, Brian was. I think he might have been on the phone with me, or he was like shortly
Just after you dropped
before
it. Just
and after. Because I was asking you about the
Oh,
carb.
that's
You remember?
right. Yep.
Like 1 minute before, 1 minute after.
I suggested he goes on a carb-free diet after that. He hasn't listened to me at all. So,
Oh.
all right. So,
But what I do have to say about Billy is what's cool about Billy is in 4 kits, just a few kits into your model building journey, you become a great builder. And it didn't
thanks, man.
take you that long to get anywhere with this.
Right.
So you're way
Appreciate that.
surpassed. You know, you're gonna do just fine.
Thank you.
No doubt. No doubt.
No
He's not
doubt.
even a year into it. He's not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started like last April. You're not even a year into it.
He's
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I got to do real quick.
Yuck.
I went to a show last weekend and I got to do my first little judging experience. So that's another kind of thing that I get to learn how to do. So I took that on and I'm trying to learn,
Good move.
these things. So
Yeah.
I enjoy the process.
We had quite the judging team when we did our show last Saturday also. And several guys were like, I learned a lot. I learned a lot by doing this. And I think it's going to really help me out as a model builder. So that's all positive takeaway. That just did my heart good to hear that. So it was very nice. Very good experience for a lot of
especially
folks.
how you paired them all up. The way you would take your really green rookies you had and them with some guys who've been doing it a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And like with Joe Porsche and I, and then we had one of them guys and I know that he learned a lot. Jake learned so much. He was having such a good time. So it's really good. Anybody out there, if you're new into this hobby and you're starting to go to the shows, if you have an opportunity to judge, don't say, I haven't been doing this that long. No, go ahead and judge. Make sure you're hooked up with a good with a good judge, but someone with a lot of experience, man. You're going to learn so much, and it's going to help you with your hobby.
There was some really
move, Billy, for you to.
There were some really good kits there too. I mean, on the table, like Dave Bell had a really nice one that was sitting on the table.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that Ayrton Senna kit, that F1 kit that was sitting there.
Oh,
the bigger one. That was a nice kit. So was the guy's Tamiya bike that you keep bringing up. There was some really nice stuff.
Oh, the paint on that. Yeah, there was amazing. And BG, we broke the record again this year.
Yeah, we can
close
talk
to
about that a
200
little bit.
models, right? We're getting closer. Awesome.
All right, cool. So let's move on really quickly to the super sweet stash shelf stuff pick. So if you guys have a kit handy that you want to talk about real quick, we're going to go ahead and start with that.
Wait, you didn't.
We're
you didn't say what you got going on.
We're okay. We're going to move on to the next segment, and I will start the super sweet stash shelf thing because I've got something that I'm extremely excited to show you guys and share with the whole world because I finally got the damn thing.
Whoa!
No way!
Yeah, this
I feel
is
like
the
the Lion
Oshima...
King music should have started.
Yeah. I'm not going to insult anybody by trying to mimic that, but this is the Oshima DeLorean kit that I had ordered back in April of 2024. And I kept emailing them and I said, it's on the water, it's on the water, it's on the water. Next thing you know, it shows up in New York City. So I asked Jason, hey, can you run over to New York City real quick and pick up my DeLorean? He goes, no.
I really wanted
Couldn't
to
pay
say
me enough to go to New York City. But that's my stash shelf pick for this week because I'm super excited about getting that one. And no, the body is not molded in a metallic color, so you still have to paint the aluminum or the stainless steel on the body. So, but it's basically based on the Oshima Back to the Future DeLorean, of course. So the chassis and stuff looks pretty similar.
So do the doors open?
The doors do open.
Oh yes.
Let me see if I can.
Holy mackerel!
I need that kit now.
I was going to get 5. I was going to get 5 of those. So the doors, open and the rear hatch opens. There's a top of the engine detail type of thing. I was going to get 5 of these, but it took so long to get the one. I think I'll just stick with the one.
Well, if I order it now, I'll get it next year this time?
Judging by your mailman?
Probably.
Poke Express?
Yeah, I know.
You should have a conversation with Mark. You should have a conversation with Mark Batson on the finish on that thing.
Yeah, I think I might, as a matter of fact. I'm just going to use the radiator, not the radiator, air conditioning ducting tape and just put that all over there and then cut out the windows. Rock on. That's how we do it here.
Perfect.
BG Model Workshop, making everybody else look better since 2017. All right. Okay. How about Ted? Do you have a kit you'd like to share real quick?
I do have a kit, and it's only here because it was the latest thing that I picked up. The good
Perfect.
folks at Michael's let me know that I had a gift card that I needed to spend. So I stopped by and used the 30% off and the gift card to grab the reissue of Revell's 74 Torino Cobra. I remember the last time this came out, I meant to get one when it was I think it was a grabber green on the package.
Yeah.
Meant to get it and never got it. And by the time I remembered that I wanted it, it was out of production and ridiculous on eBay. So, seeing them reissue it, I was like, all right, cool. Into the stash it goes.
Right on. So what's your
Nice
plan
kid.
for it?
My plan for it is to probably let it sit there for an indeterminate amount of time before I ultimately forget what it was that I wanted to do with it, and try and find my way out of this gigantic pile of 3D printed parts.
Okay, I can get behind that. Are you gonna let it age like a fine wine on the shelf?
Yeah, I've got
it.
a bunch of the well, not a bunch, but I've got the Ford Grabber Color series, and I figured what I was considering doing was just having a fleet of different Cobra type cars, all in the various shades of the Grabber colors. So that may or may not come to fruition, but it was definitely my idea when I had first seen it. I was like, I think that could work. So yeah,
Nice.
stay tuned. It may or may not happen.
Nice. I do like the grabber color scheme type of Crayola box car build idea, I guess. Matt, how about you? What you got for a pick?
Well, I have got my most recent Savino Zara Models Builders Group, kit of the month that I got, and it is a model that I have wanted to build for decades. And when they first came on the scene and they were offering their 70s Monte Carlo, I had bought one to specifically do this one car. And then good thing with my relationship with them, I kind of knew this was coming down the line long before other people. So it wasn't hard for me to put it off on account of, well, my track record with my model building procrastination. But it's this car they call Bertha. I did a video on this, and this was a very significant car and my favorite driver. And I always wanted to build a model of this Monte Carlo. And for years, I have got so many Gatorade decals. Pretty much decal company that ever printed Gatorade decals, I have at least one sheet of them. And these are the correct decals for this specific car. Clay Kemp did artwork, and it was really super
nice.
Cool getting this kit. Oh yeah, it's neat. Did you get yours, Billy?
Yeah, I got mine. It's super nice.
It is. It's really cool. Those decals are awesome. And there was one little thing that I had one picture of that was unique to this car. Nobody knew about. I said to Rick, you guys put this on the decal sheet, and I sent them the picture. The hood was up and it said, "Hi, I'm Bertha." And they put it on the decal sheet, and Clay did a job of doing that, and that set it off. So that's a cool little detail to add to that model. I actually started tinkering it. I think a couple of days ago we were all kind of on a Discord, and I was fiddling around with that body and getting everything all lined up and everything. So that is I'm pretty excited about that, and I really would like to build it. I got a really cool plan for it. Don't think I'm going to bother doing. I'll do updates, but I was going to build it on the channel, but I'll just do updates. I've got something weird I'm doing with it, little advanced thing I always wanted to do with these kids. We're going to see how that is. That's really the only new thing. Besides, I got a couple things from Joel, some cool stuff. I got I didn't pull it out, but I got a really cool. It's a Nissan engine. He does. It's help me, Billy. What is that?
Is it the RB?
The Nissan.
Which one?
Nissan engine.
The 2.6?
RB26.
Yeah.
The inline 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one that comes with the optional turbo?
And I believe it does. Yes.
It should be the twin. Yeah, it should be the
Wow,
twin
what a
turbocharged
wonderful
RB26. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to put it in. I got a couple of ideas what it might go into, but I'm gonna just put it together and paint it up. I might do that as a video too, of doing an engine build of a JDM engine. So I've been wanting to do a kind of a build up of one of Joel's engines, and I think that'll be the one I'll do. That's
sometimes
the new stuff I got this month.
Sometimes I just want to sit and build engines and just like have them all lined up on my shelf, like engine builders do. They're like, oh, you need an engine for your car? Okay, let's take the crate off the shelf and stuff it in the car. The only problem is I don't want to build the car also. So
I mean, you could.
I could.
There you go, Ted. 3D print every engine you can.
Yeah.
Chuck, I don't have to
put
send
that
a hate
on
mail
him.
because I'm here live right now. So just understand that I hate you.
Woohoo, our first hate mail live.
Yes.
Dang.
Live hate
right.
mail. Nice.
Perfect.
He's gonna get off and start supporting engines now.
And this is double worse because Ted's one of the nicest guys I know. So that's really, really bad. Jason, what do you got for you? Sorry, Ted.
No, I was going to say I have messed with like 3D printing a couple of engines, and one of the reasons I stopped short was it then got me looking at motor mounts and motor racks, which then got me looking at other assorted garage bits, which kind of spiraled into the idea of 3D printing a diorama of a garage. And it's like, you know what? We're here for model cars.
Oh.
Maybe dial it back a tad.
I thought about 3D printing like a bunch of different engines, and then you have a mock-up motor for everything. Like it would almost, in the long run, the very long run, it would almost speed up your building because you have a mock-up engine. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
That's
I
actually
understand
a very
completely.
good idea. I do that with chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that with chassis. That's a really good idea. I have like the popular race car chassis of either drag racing or car, just so I can drop bodies on, see what needs to be done to make it work, and it's been pretty helpful.
Yeah, I was going to say, in fairness, that's actually something that I did, not just with this current USAC build, but also last year when I was working on the 55. I printed a test fit engine at just like draft quality, not something that you would actually use, but printed it just to be able to size it and get it in place. So you're certainly onto something with that, Chuck. It's just, I know me, and I know that I probably wouldn't be able to just like keep it isolated to just that one little assignment.
I just messed them all up.
Chuck just
Ted's gonna get off this. Ted's gonna get off this with absolute regret. Thank you, Chuck.
All right, Jason, what have you got?
Damage.
All right, so I went over to HobbyNet Models and picked up this.
Oh.
So those of you that aren't watching and maybe listening on your drive to work, this is the Aoshima 330 Gloria Special, which is it's got all the big fat fender flares and the custom grill and all that stuff. And much like Ted, I probably will put this on the shelf and forget that I have it for the next year and a half, and then see it and be like, oh yeah. It'll just be built out of the box because it's got so many cool things in there. I don't need to add too much to it. So,
and I love those because it's got the cooler on the front and it has the hoses that run on the outside of it.
Yeah,
those things are
cool.
Yeah, and the kit comes with those hoses, right?
Yep.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
And does it come with like other little options too? If you don't want to build that exact grill, it might have a different grill as well.
Yeah, it's got 5 or 6 grills. It's got all kinds of cool stuff. It's not
it usually has like 2 or 3 wheel options, I think.
It's only got the one. It's got 2 wheel options. They're like a stock one or the really wide ones that fit under the flares. Billy can attest to this. For quite a while, I was on a huge Bozozuku kick, and this is
Yes.
like the closest thing I could find.
Right.
Right. So who knows? Maybe it'll get some scratch-built spoilers and stuff. I
There
don't
we
know,
go.
but
I
You
remember
gotta
that.
get those pipes
Oh.
that come flying up the side or out the back.
well, they got to come up the back, and they got to go like 8 feet up the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with the gigantic chin spoiler too, that looked like
Uh-huh.
an upside down snowplow.
Mhm.
I remember that because that was like during the 48-hour group build back in July. We were showing pictures back. We
Yes.
stopped building. We're
Yeah.
just sending pictures back and forth. Look at this bike, you know.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
oh, good times.
Yeah,
Good times.
for sure.
Oh gosh.
All right, Billy, what do you got saved up?
All right. I have the Billy Meyer, put it this way, the Billy Meyer 711 Mustang funny car from 1985. This is the monogram one. Number one. Well, I found this. It was a Facebook Marketplace. I think, what'd I say, Matt? $30? I think I grabbed this for $30. It's complete.
Yeah.
I did find
Yeah,
the
$30.
driver's side window, actually. I thought it was missing the driver's side window, but I found it. It was hiding in one of the flaps. So it's complete. Decals look good. I love this era of drag race cars, so especially the funny cars and pro stocks from this era, and the box art. I love the box art from this era of monogram
Yeah.
kit. Just the stock
Yes.
cars, the pro stocks, the funny cars, the box art. I love this box art. So I was
the David
super
Lord
excited.
era.
Yep.
Was he
Just
I
the
actually
artist?
have that kit built
He-
in
he
my
was
case.
wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's cool. It's
Yeah.
You're gonna
Oh,
love.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I super excited to get it. Like, I just love this era of car. So yeah.
Mhm.
And I could always do a dramatic back of the box or side of the box reading too, because it's got a little thing here on the 260 mile per hour.
Do it.
Go for it. Give us a treat.
All right, here we go.
Do it.
260 mile per hour is always exciting to Billy Meyer as he pilots his nitro burning race car down the quarter-mile straightaway. In 1/24 scale, this model is 9 inches long, 22.9 centimeters, and includes clear and satin finish plated parts and black vinyl Goodyear drag slicks. Body lifts up, just as on the real car, to show the detailed 500 cubic inch, 2,800 horsepower supercharged engine, tubular framed chassis, and contoured driver's compartment. May be painted to match box photos on box. Cement. I almost said sentiment. Cement and paint not included.
Well, it's a good thing the sentiment is included.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, always got to get that good will.
Wow.
Hello, monogram.
Nicely
I sent my kid
done.
back. It didn't have any sentiment in it when I got it.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
What they don't tell you is once you take the wrapping off of there, the sentiment leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
That's awesome.
That was fantastic.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And are you going to
Yes.
build it
Well,
as the box art?
done well.
Matt and I were talking about this. I really do like the box, like
Hmm.
the actual 7-Eleven Chief Auto Parts. I was
Oh, yeah.
asking him if there was any other paint schemes from that era on that Mustang body style, but I still think the decals are actually really nice. I think they're pretty good in that one. So I'm gonna try and do that, the 7-Eleven Chief Auto Parts car. So
Right
I
on.
like that.
I would be compelled to try and find the
Probably
car
make-
that's behind it and try
Oh,
to
yeah.
just kind of try to
Just trying to find that one's probably
What car's behind it?
it's the fire, isn't that a
Is it the
Firebird?
Warbird?
The Miller? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Miller car back
The
there.
Miller
Oh, yeah.
Warbird.
Good luck.
And
Oh, they
that's
did-
gonna be
They
money,
did
isn't
that
it?
kit.
Yeah. And that thing's
Yeah,
gonna be money.
I have one, and I'm not selling it to you. I got
Damn
one,
it.
and I'm not selling it to you.
Yeah, I love so now, like I said, I'm pretty excited. I've got that one, which is the original, and then the Frank, what is it, Iconio? The Pro Stock
Mhm.
Yep.
car. That's the original one.
Yeah,
so
that was cool. You got that.
someday I might be able to somehow get the original box arts for all of those cars at least. I'd like to get the kits, but if I could at least get the box arts, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's something that like
Yeah.
causes me to collect it all as the box art. Oh, that one's in the background. I need to get that too. Oh, that's on the
Yeah.
side flap. I need to get that also.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love those too, like Billy. And I went ahead and I at least got one of every. The artist name was David Lord. All the David Lord race cars that he did for Monogram,
They're so
I
good.
got at least of everyone.
So what one were you
even
looking
if
for,
it was
Billy?
if I found
Well, we were talking about the one in the back here. It's the what is it? The Firebird? Is that what it is? Pontiac? The Miller
yeah.
car?
Dale
Okay.
Pruitt, Warlord, or
Yeah.
Warbird.
Warbird.
Okay.
Warbird.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
that
it
makes
is.
more
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what one
Well,
that is.
Yeah. But
Right
yeah,
on.
any of those era stock car, any of the David Lord stuff, the stock car stuff. Like I have some of the stock car stuff.
Mhm.
But any of the box art stuff from that era that he did, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
wouldn't
okay.
it be
So
great to have an original print.
the painted box art on that, right? It's got a lot of movement in it and everything. And it'll be interesting because I watch these things on Instagram where people paint cars to look like it's a comic book art, comic strip type
Yes.
of car, something like that. And like, if you did that to a model kit, would that translate as well as it does to the real vehicle? So, like, if you wanted to recreate the box art painting as the paint job on the car, I always wondered about how that would be. Something to ponder.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the guys do like that anime style stuff.
Right.
And that looks pretty cool in person. It would be interesting to see if you could somehow mimic, like the light, that movement, that light streak
Mhm.
that comes off of like the shiny parts.
Mhm.
If you could somehow do that, if you could do that right, that would really mess with your brain.
Yeah.
Like you would have to have like the tires. If you could do it where you had the tires have flex, like the squish in the tires,
Yeah.
and make the tires look like they're in motion,
Right.
and then have those like light streaks coming off in certain areas, that would really mess with your brain. Like if you had a
Mhm.
base under there that had a blurred, like the base was
Yeah.
painted in a blurred fashion and stuff, like that could really mess with your brain in person. Like that would be really interesting.
I was
was-
at an IPMS show where they had it was an airplane model and it was on a transparent post. And if they had it done up so the prop looked like it was spinning and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the plane is flying and banking, but it's over like a topographical map or actual photograph of the
Sure.
ground, but the photograph was taken in motion. So it looked like the plane was
Oh.
speeding along. I'm walking down the table. I look over to the side and see this thing in the corner of my eye, and I almost get dizzy and pass out. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" Ah!
That's
That was.
awesome.
I had to stand there and look at that for a little bit, going, "Whoa!" Get my
I like
eyes
that kind of
across.
stuff.
Oh, that
It's very
stuff's cool.
creative.
When people
That's-
think of
yeah.
that, it's just awesome. Hey, Chuck, what have you got saved up?
Well, when I was at the show, I really like these. Matt, what is this? Matt?
That is a Porsche. You
Thank
son
you.
of a bitch.
Another 356 Porsche. I picked it up. I liked it. I picked that up. I picked some tools up when I was over there.
Bastard.
I did get that cutter
Yeah, you punk.
from Display. Oh, I love
Oh,
it.
nice.
I'll do a video on that. And I bought the sander while I was over there.
When you
and it
do the
comes-
video, on that chopper, use your finger. just show us
Please.
how good it is.
And then our buddy Joel sent me
Please.
the new Godzilla motor.
No, that's awesome. I love it.
So
It's not like 1/1,000,000th scale.
yeah. So yeah, that's about all I've kind of done. I'm really looking forward to using that cutter because I do a lot of scratch building. So
I'm getting into that too, and I'm having a lot of trouble cutting straight
and
lines.
I think this will help. I think it'll help a lot.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. 'cause
Will.
I have one on order
It
now
will.
from Rhino.
Yeah.
Right on.
I
Right
bought
on,
his
dude.
last one. I bought his last sander and his last cutter. So
Yeah, he mentioned that we were at the. I was like, "Do you have any more of those?" He goes, "I think that guy that friend of yours. I think he got that." I'm like, Chuck. Yeah, I guess that's his name.
God,
yeah,
That
he's
guy.
not my friend.
He's not my
Not
friend
anymore.
Not
Yeah,
my friend.
not anymore. He was
don't
my
put that
friend.
on me, Mike.
All right, cool, awesome stuff, guys. I think everybody has some cool stuff there, especially that DeLorean. That's pretty awesome. Whoever had that.
I know. I
Yeah,
want
that guy's
that.
super cool.
I'm
That
thinking
guy.
about doing a conversion and make it into the Back to the Future car. Should I do that with this one? Crickets. Okay, moving
If you
along.
could go
Hey,
backwards, you could.
one more thing. I did get a notification today on my large scale Camaro that I ordered,
Oh,
and it's on its way now.
oh,
so
because I was wondering if it's going to be
I'm
Camaro Watch
excited.
2025.
Yeah, I got a good deal on that. That's why I waited for quite a while. So
Oh, you got a good deal on it?
yeah, Hobby Link, I think.
Oh yeah, they I'm surprised he took so long with that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get it in early enough.
Mine
or
was a
something.
pre-order that I ordered at the very inception of the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
And I got it last. Like the entire world got theirs, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, you can have yours now." Like, thanks.
That
That was my
just
first
means
one.
it was really
thank you.
special, Brian. It went back in time.
Jeez.
Thank you. I feel better now. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Let's go over to Jason with the Northeast Model Car Report, sir. What have you got for us?
All right. We're going to rifle through this as quickly as we can without screwing anything up. Fingers crossed. Upcoming shows. February 22nd, the ODO, Old Dominion Open, hosted by the IPMS Richmond chapter. That is held at the Old Dominion building at Richmond Raceway Complex, 600 East Laborium Avenue, Richmond, Virginia. I'm sure I screwed that up. Richmond, Virginia. That's a pretty big show. I was looking through the flyer on that. That is a big show. So if you're in that area, go check it out. Next, on March 15th, Pacific Northwest Model Car Fest, presented by the Scale Auto Builders Association. That's held at the Holiday Inn Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Boulevard, Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
Then, March 23rd, Model Cars and Coffee. This is hosted by Ricky Wallace Jr. Apparently, he's a good guy, according to Frank Steffens. Held at the Leesport Farmers Market, 312 Gurnett Church Road, Leesport, Pennsylvania. This is not a model show. This is just a model display and a coffee, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. I like that.
I do too. Next, March 29th, the Mile High Open, hosted by the Outcast Plastic Modelers, and it's being held at the Forney Museum of Transportation in Denver, Colorado. Neat little tidbit, the Blue Ox Model Shop will be sponsoring the Best Drag / Straight Line competition class. So I'm excited about that. That's pretty neat.
Woo!
I'm going.
Right on.
Woo! You're going?
Me and Mrs. BG are going. We've got tickets and everything.
Heck
Really?
yeah! I'm
What
gonna
show?
need a favor.
The Colorado show.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
the
going
Mile
too.
High Open.
Oh, you're
I'm
going too?
going- Yeah, I'm going too.
Oh,
That's
crap.
awesome. One of
hoping
you
I can have
guys needs to snag
was
a
hoping I could have
picture
some
of
peace
my
and quiet.
plaque.
No, I just looking at my phone right now, and I just got the confirmation that they gave me the time off of work. So
Nice.
yeah.
Sweet. One of you guys will need to take a picture of my plaque. Please.
If I can remember, I shall try and do
Oh,
so.
don't worry.
Well-
I'll remind you.
Maybe I'll bring it home.
Oh. Maybe you'll bring it home? hope so.
There you go.
I hope so.
Oh, that's funny.
Next, April 12th, FleeCon 21, hosted by the IPMS Alexander Lipschitz chapter. Okay, the theme is animal names, Call of
Alexander.
the Wild. So if you've got a barracuda or a a Mustang or a Bronco.
Or a
Mustang.
72
Yeah.
giraffe.
Or a
A
ram.
72 Giraffe. Yeah, there you go. It's held at the Bernadette Center, 766 North Maple Street, Monticello, Iowa. Also on April
Oh.
12th, the Desert Scale Classic, presented by the Cactus Car Modelers, held at the Phoenix Baptist Church, Building B, 5757 North Central Avenue in Phoenix. Are we going to that too?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's local.
Well, I mean, you guys usually jump right in with we're going to be there, but you didn't on that one. So just figured I'd ask.
Yep.
To be
I'll do that.
there.
April 12th, Pan Am
Lot of-
Con 2025, presented by IPMS Champlain Valley and Mount Mansfield Modelers. That's held at the National Guard Armory in Williston, Vermont. Heather and I will be attending that show. That's our first show of the year that we will be at, April 12th. So come by and say hi. And then the big one, April 26th, the 37th annual NNL East, hosted by the Tri-State Scale Model Car Club, held at the Wayne Pal Building, 1 Pal Drive, Wayne, New Jersey. This year's theme is Circle Track Vehicles, and the sub-theme is Race Team Transporters.
I like that. That is
The
cool.
Huh.
The NNL East is a must-see show. Even if you go just one time in your lifetime, you need to go to NNL East. You need to do it.
That bucket has been kicked, my friend.
I want to do that one.
Yeah, that is an experience
Me
you
too.
have to see.
The vendor area looked incredible over
And
there.
it's 2 full gymnasiums of vendors.
I mean,
Yep.
it looked
Jeez.
so crazy over there.
yeah,
Or as I call it, a full court press.
Tim's Customs, Tim Kolonkowitz, he did a video on that,
mhm,
and it was insane.
You know
mhm.
what, Chuck? You should go there instead of going to the Colorado show. Just saying. You know,
Oh no!
it's not that much farther.
You know,
It's only another 3 hours by air.
that's all. Exactly.
Start walking.
Yeah,
And maybe you'll find somebody to hold a spot in line for you. I doubt it, but
I'll direct him the opposite way.
okay. Then for upcoming kits, not a lot to talk about. Coming in April from Hasegawa is an Isuzu Bellet 1600 GTR race car. That is an ugly car, my friend.
It is.
an
It is a
ugly
little
car.
shoebox looking round kind
Wow.
of. Yeah.
Well, it goes with the name, I guess. Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
They've got a Lancia Stratos HF custom version, basically a street car.
Mhm.
That's coming out. Nissan Fairlady Z32, which is a 300ZX twin turbo. The year on that, I think, is 1992. So that's coming out. And a 1987 Sauber Mercedes C9. That's coming out in April.
Which one is that? Does it say?
It's the Poros livery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's. Oh, I didn't know that they were redoing that one. Cool.
Yep.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. That sounds pretty
Yeah, that's
special.
that blue. Yeah, it's blue with white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice
so-
looking car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
it's a
really
nice-
cool looking car. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
last from Hasegawa is the Toyota Super Turbo A70 from the 1989 Macau Gia race.
Oh, okay.
That's
Nice.
got it's the blue one with the Tom livery on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool kit too.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I don't have dates. I think these 2 kits are already out, to be honest with you, but they're from Tamiya. They're the Renault 5 Turbo Rally car. I wish I'd known that was coming out before I.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. And the Toyota Supra GR Custom.
Oh, okay.
Custom.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it's got like 19-inch
Yeah, it's
aftermarket
got
wheels
different
on it,
Wheels on it.
body kit kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's look it up. It's a very attractive car.
I'll I do like the Supras from that era. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's
It's the
it.
GR86. It's the newer.
It's the
newer,
newest.
It's the new car.
Yes, it's the
It's
newest
not
sorry.
the.
body
it's not the
style.
I thought he
Supra.
said it was from 1986. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's the
Wrong.
GR86. It's
Yeah.
the new little sports car that they do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's very
it's
cool.
actually built. It's actually built by BMW, isn't it?
Yeah, it mocks the BRZ, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of in that same realm. I think Ted probably knows of, or a little bit more than, but it's in that same wheelhouse.
Yeah.
A lot of the underpinnings are based on like I think it's the BMW M2, just from like an engineering standpoint. And then like you said, visually, there's definitely 86 Qs there. I honestly, when they re-released the car, I didn't quite understand the hate, because BMWs typically are decent performing vehicles. So it's kind of like, yeah, I get it that it's not straight JDM, but such is the world that we live in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, yeah.
I got a guy who lives down the street that has one. I see it every day when I'm bringing Felix home from school, and it's blue, and I can't take my eyes off it. It's a beautiful car.
My buddy John had a BMW. I don't think it was an M2, but that thing had the inline 6 engine in there with the bi-turbo, and that thing was mean. I mean, it was. I've ridden in it a couple of times, and it was like we were going back in time. It was awesome. And being driven around by somebody who's actually a race car driver, I mean, that just, I had absolute confidence that I was going to make it home, no problem. And just a little bit of screaming, not too much.
Just a little, not as much as I usually would do.
Right, exactly. Watch out for that car. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate all the work you put into the research on that stuff. And that brings us to 3D printer news with Chuck.
All right, guys. Bear with me because I kind of just threw this together, but there's a new resin company out there called White Tanks Hobbies. Some of his most best sellers in 124th, 125th sequential gear shifters. Each pack comes with 8 shifters, 4 regular ones, 4 low profiles, fluid reservoirs. It looks like these packs come with a lot of different sizes and varieties. So the fluid reservoirs, 4 different engine coolant reservoirs, 3 different windshield wiper fluid reservoirs, 3 different brake fluid reservoirs, variety of lunch boxes, Stanley style lunchbox, Stanley style classic.
Actually, I have those right here.
Do you really?
Yeah, right here.
What do you think of them?
These are freaking awesome. It's got like the Stanley, like you said, it's got the Igloo. Thank you, Matt. The Igloo lunch boxes and stuff. Man, this stuff is just sweet. He gave it to us at the show.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked up some of his stuff on there, and he's got quite a bit of cool stuff that I haven't seen in any other resin company, like the diorama stuff, like cups and stuff. That big wheel's pretty cool, with an adjustable back seat. That seat. You remember, like in the day where you could be able to adjust the seat back and forth. That's kind of cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to check this out a little bit more.
I want that big wheel.
Yeah, me too.
The big wheel's awesome.
I want the big wheel pretty bad. So anyway, so go check those guys out. So
local for us.
Scale Speed. They're local here.
Yeah, that's Joe Porche's son.
Oh, that's this White Tanks.
Yeah.
He's out in.
Now I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's out in Waddell, Arizona.
Waddell, yeah, that's it.
That's by
Waddell. Yeah, that it is. He's not too far from you.
So, Scale Speed Garage. I dig that 66 the chassis that he did. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man,
it was sweet.
So he's got that chassis based off the 66 Nova, adjustable wheelbase, ride height, and more detail. Whole chassis plus tubular front end section and back half ready to graft onto any kit and chassis. It's got fully adjustable from the size of a Beetle to the Foose Cadillac, or a long bed truck is how he states it. In that pretty much stays like universal to everything, really. So he also has the Chevy DRC E engine, the drag race Chevy engine, the parts coming out, Milodon and Brodix valve covers, Arius Hemi heads, valve covers, individual throttle body, fuel injection intake, crank mounted Pro Charger. Pretty much that's what he's got coming out. And Iceman Resins, he is pretty much got that 1948 Cadillac Series 62 kit. And I think that's the same people that made the Tucker that Brian got.
Yep, that's right.
I believe so, yeah.
So he's restocking all of their products, the 48 Tucker, engine upgrade for the 70 Dodge Charger, American racing wheels with soft tires. So that's pretty much what he's got. And I looked at that Tucker kit that you have. That's incredible.
It is beautiful.
So I am really looking to see what that Cadillac looks like.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be same quality.
If it's anything like that, man, it's worth every penny.
Yes, I agree. I wholly agree.
To get a Cadillac like that's pretty cool. So Josh Reese with VCG Resins says that he's been keeping busy stocking shelves. He wants to thank everybody for the support. He's also been busy with the Outcast plastic modelers getting the Mile High Open ready, and me and Brian are going to go there, and I guess I got to ditch Brian when I'm out there.
What else is new, man? I mean,
in production release later this month, he's also got the drag race Chevy engine kits and Mickey Thompson ET slicks with wrinkled sidewalls on them. So he's pretty much going to come out with the same parts after the files come out from Chris, I'm sure. And they're working on future releases of the tubular front end and the tub back halves, drag car interior stuff, which I'm looking forward to, including everyone's wife's favorite cup and like a little diorama cup, and a couple of Ford engines, which that we can really use Ford engines. So
yeah, that's kind of.
So, and he also says, be sure to use the code POD10 to save 10%. So pretty much that's what I got going on here.
Right on.
That's about it.
Awesome.
So
cool. Thank you, Chuck.
I just barely got a couple of those the last minute. So I kind of had to throw them together. I mean, it was like I was 5 minutes late coming to the podcast because I was throwing it together. So
well, you did good.
Appreciate you doing that, man. Thank you. All right, that takes us to emails with me. All right, so first of all, we want to say thank you to make sure I get the name right here. Jason Rothgab. Is that right?
That's right.
So.
Okay, Jason Rothgab, because he gave us a nice lengthy email, but it ended up becoming the actual topic for today's podcast, and that is the does the perfect model exist? So we'll be talking about that in a little bit. But thank you, Jason. I wanted to let you know that we got the email and we had good discussions about that, and it prompted this topic for this particular podcast. So thanks for your email submissions. And remember, folks, if you have an email submitted to us and you don't hear it on a particular episode, don't fret. I have it saved. Sometimes we're just a little pressed for time. So just hang in there. We'll get to it eventually. We want to say, let's see here. We got one from Pat Redmond up there in Canada. And the subject line is Chuck Mail. And it says, love Chuck, hate Luka. Signed Pat.
My favorite email ever.
This is for you, Pat, right here, buddy.
Does this make it the best episode?
This is
Best episode ever.
Oh, that's awesome. We also got an email from Richard Baker. And Richard, we're going to tackle that email in its own episode because that actually might become the topic of an episode. So we're going to get to that here post haste, sir. So thank you again. I want to let you know we got it. And finally, we got one from Stephen Baker. He says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Listening to the January 26th podcast, episode 33, and heard you guys speaking about Brad Norgard. He's a former member of our Mafia crew that had passed away, sadly. Was it 2 years ago now, I guess?
About a year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half ago. He says that they were friends on Facebook for a long time and always appreciated his guidance and input on questions pertaining to the hobby. He says, what a great guy. And I think I'm getting a little choked up just talking about that. But yeah, dude, Brad was definitely a guiding light there.
Should have known him.
He was a good guy.
Getting to be friends with him, and heck, I know him since the late 80s.
Yep, he was a great guy, and I always enjoyed judging with him because he had a very interesting take on things.
Yeah.
So my question comes from the subject of episode 33. You all answered how you get inspired. How about who or what inspired you, or specifically? He says, I built cars with my uncle as a child and early teen, and he was my true inspiration because he had physical limitations and built the coolest stuff around our area. Kind of a legend in our small farm community when it came to doing things nobody thought were possible for him. Keep up the great work in the podcast. I never miss an episode. As an OG on the YouTube modeling community, Fast Jimmy 71 used to say, "Peace and chicken grease." Stephen Baker. Steve, we actually kind of covered who inspired us in a previous episode. Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure we did.
Like we had like 5 people that we all listed. A lot of us had the same names, but 5 people that inspired us to not only build, but to build better. And that was a great topic. But thank you for the email, Steve. And it's awesome to hear about your uncle with his limitations being a hero to you. That's really special, sir.
It's kind of something I wanted to throw in here, do something real fast that kind of goes with what he was just asking in that email. This wasn't a part of our outline, but I really want to bring this up. And I think a couple of you, I think BG, I think all you guys except Ted. I don't know if I put Ted in this, but this particular builder post on my Facebook group and a couple other ones today that I don't know, this model caught my eye and just super inspired me. But there's this orange 55 Chevy gasser. Did you see that? Did you ever look at that? I connected some of you.
Yes.
Bob Demko, Demko. And I mean, if I can, anybody, I'm showing it right there. I don't know. He just nailed it. And this guy, he says, he will be turning 70 soon, and he's hadn't been building in a while, and he jumped in and did it. And I don't know, it's the simplicity. He just made it very simple, but the engineering on it, where he took some of the Willie chassis and added to this thing and just got the stance right. And I was looking at it this morning, and this model has been in my mind all day. Now I want to build a 55. Thanks a lot. That's the downside. I don't need any more ideas, but it just was right with the stance and the orange color, just everything orange, simple, very clean build. It's stuff like that, getting every day going on to the Facebook groups and seeing builders that put stuff like that out is so inspiring. And it just makes my life more difficult. But it's great to see stuff like that, man. I've been seeing a lot of new old guys popping into my Facebook group and dropping bombs like this. It's like we've said, it's these older people coming in the hobby that's getting it blowing up and
also it's the younger ones too. I mean, it's not only the older ones.
There's young guys.
Did you see who just won the Grand National Roadster Show model contest?
No.
He was a 17-year-old kid, won Best of Show.
Oh, that is cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
that is cool.
And there was some really well-known guys in there.
Very good.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, it's just every day, with the internet and all that stuff, it's just constant inspiration with all these great builders posting amazing things. And this guy just knocked out of the park with his 55 Chevy. If you haven't looked at it, anybody out there, go look at it. It's on my Facebook. It's on the Luka C Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group, and the quarter mile modelers. I don't know if you're on anybody's on that. That's a really good, just a drag racing model Facebook group. And he posts on there. Wow, that's where I first saw it. It set me in my seat. So yeah, go check that out.
Right on, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
It's all about the sharing. Speaking of sharing, it's time to take a break so we can go share some more.
I like sharing.
But, yeah, here's our friend Iceman Collections. We'll be right back.
Oh, man, these wheels in this kit aren't as cool as I thought. Now I feel like I'm falling out of love with this model.
Hey, how you doing?
Who the heck are you?
Me? Why, I'm the model kit Cupid, baby.
Right.
Hey, I hang out in hobby shops all over the world, and I poke people with my little love darts to make them fall in love with that special model kit.
Okay. Why are you here?
Well, I just heard you say you were falling out of love with that model kit, and I thought maybe I should pop in and give you a little booster shot.
No thanks. I'm good. I think I might just go to IcemanCollections.com and order a set of cool wheels for this model.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm right here, baby. Ready to go.
No, seriously. I'm good. See, I'm already logging on to IcemanCollections.com to place my order. Iceman has a rewards plan, and you can earn points towards discounts. Do you offer anything like that?
Nah, I'm just basically a one-and-done type of guy, baby.
Well, there you go, then. I'm going to get points towards discounts and elevate my build with IcemanCollections.com.
All right, it's all good, man. If you need to elevate anything else, you know who to call.
Yeah, that's going to be an easy no.
Hey, we should host another group build sponsored by the podcast.
Sure, but it needs to be a race car this time.
Yeah, something that can race on asphalt or dirt.
And night and different types of weather. That would be pretty cool.
And can fly.
Wait, what?
What you talking about, BG?
Hey, I got it. Rally cars.
Yes.
What date should we run the build for?
How about January 31st? It can start and go to December 31st. That's a good amount of time.
Sure, I can work with that.
Okay, but I gotta say, I'm a little concerned about the defying gravity thing. I haven't had much luck in that lately.
Join the Scale Model Car Podcast 2025 Rally Cool Rally Car Group Build and build that rally car model kit that's been sitting on your shelf ever since you brought it home from the hobby store and said, I'm gonna build that one day, because now is your chance. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for sticking around for our little plug for Iceman Collections and also our Rally Cool group build that we're hosting. So if you want any more information about that, check us out on our Facebook page. We have information there. Plus, a lot of folks are posting what they're going to be building. So please join in if you can. We would appreciate that.
It's officially on right now, isn't it?
It is going.
Right now.
Right now. It is
Right now?
happening.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Not, it's right now.
Right
Now.
Right now.
Right now.
It's now.
Yes,
I should start mine
you should.
because it's going right now.
It is
Right now.
That's a fact, BG.
It is.
It's going right now.
It's going right now. All right. So also speaking of going right
Mine's
now, it's
sitting here.
probably
Wow, what a waste of time that was.
yeah. Well, speaking of going right now, we should probably get onto the show because our guests are going to be going pretty soon. But let's see. We're going to have them included in our topic for today, which is, does the perfect model build exist, or what's the deal with this orange peel? So that's my Seinfeld.
That was
Okay.
a great Seinfeld. What's the deal?
Yeah, no.
I've been watching a lot of that lately.
I know. Right? Good times. So, yeah. What is our individual take on chasing the perfect model build? Do you think it can be done? Who wants to go first? Show
I
of
don't know,
hands.
dude. I think I've seen some perfect models, but I've never built any of them.
Well,
Well said.
I think the perfect model was built one time,
One time.
and I
then you
dropped
dropped it,
10
right?
stories.
Here we go.
If you can call in and give us a running total of how many times Chuck has brought up that model today. You win nothing.
No,
All right.
I don't think it exists. I don't think anybody on the planet can build a perfect model.
Don't you?
Nope.
Not even Mr. Tamiya himself?
Nope.
Hmm.
Well,
Interesting.
thank you
No.
for listening.
No
folks.
offense
See you
to
later.
anybody. I have anybody came close, maybe. But I mean, there's models that I've looked at on the table, and I would think with my eyes that they're perfect. But then you start talking to somebody that say you're close to this person, and he says, "Well, I kind of screwed up here. I wish." So
Well, but this is why it would be subjective then.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is
Exactly.
perfection something that is in the eye of the beer holder?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Which is
Yeah.
why I have a cooler stashed under the table every time I go to a show,
Which is
just in case.
I mean,
Like just pregame before registration. Yeah.
I'm just
Pre-game in the
telling
parking
you.
lot, yeah.
every one of my models has something wrong with them. I mean, this is a fact.
But that's
No,
you.
I hear what you're saying, and I was thinking about it, and it's like if other builders approach things the same way that I do, like when they see some of my work on the table and they don't spot all the flaws, it's like I know standing there, I almost feel like an imposter because somebody initially like takes it in and they're kind of taken back by it, but I I know every flaw. I know every mistake. I can see it from a mile away, and it's in my mind is magnified like far more than
Yes.
anybody else
Okay.
seems to take in mind. So
Yeah.
yeah, if other people feel that same way, then I'd be like, no, there's absolutely no way there is a perfect model, because even if the
No.
model is technically correct, you're still dealing with an individual who put it together who's like just wrapped with insecurity about the process.
Mhm.
I
And
would
even
say this is a flawed concept, though.
and
And the reason I would say this is a
Perhaps.
flawed concept, hold on just a sec. The reason I would say this is a flawed concept, though, is because if you consider building a model car to be art, then saying something that is perfect is in of itself a flawed concept. So, for instance, if you look at a painting, or if you listen to a piece of music, this is a completely subjective thing, because to the artist, there will never ever be a finished piece of work, right? There
Oh,
will
true.
never be
Mhm.
a completed piece of work, because the
killing my
artist
mind.
itself can always go back and tweak something, because they can go on to their next painting, they can go on to their next piece of music, because they are a creative. That's part of being a creative person. They are always looking to do something different. They are always looking to do something extra. So when they go on to their next piece, it is an extension in and of itself of the thing that they finished before. So you kind of have to remove the person that has created the piece out of the equation. And you then have to look at it from the perspective of the person. This is where the eye of the beholder comes into play. That's why we've created that
Yes.
phrase. So you kind of have to remove yourself from this scenario, and you
Okay,
have to
well,
then look at
let's-
it, go in that
let's-
perspective.
Let's
because it's
remove ourselves from that, like you're saying.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, right. Cool. I'm hungry anyway.
And you're correct, and partially. I think you're partially correct, but because if you remove yourself from it, and say, I removed myself from it, which I know where all my flaws are, but I pass my model up to Brian, and I say, Brian, find what you think is wrong with this model. If he looks hard enough, long enough, I'm sure he can find something.
But this is like saying when you go to a review for have you ever been to a job review, and the person that does your review says, here's a 1 through 5, and you can never get a 5 because you can never be a perfect employee.
Oh, that's not
Why
true
is it
because
there?
when I go to a
No,
job
no,
interview and
it
they
is-
say, "Well, hold
no,
on, hold on,"
it is
they
the
usually
same.
say you can't get a perfect, but they usually give me a 6.
Zero,
We all
zero
walk
incidents.
right into that.
Yeah, fair
Chuck
enough.
has had
Dos
0
Equis.
incidents at the drive up
enough.
this year.
0 incidents. So far
Dos
this year.
dos ex
We have-
dos Equis.
There we go. We have hit the Chuck factor.
Yes.
So yes, this is all I'm saying is art is one of those things. It's kind of like when I race cars and when I do music. When I have done a race, when I've raced cars, and from the outside, like the best way I can describe it is when I was at the Gold Cup at Chico and I'm watching the World of Outlaws guys drive. So I went out and I ran my qualifying lap, and I think we qualified like, I don't know, it was like 3rd or 4th. And I watched Sammy Swindell, one of the best there's ever been in a sprint car. And I watched him run and I'm like, oh my God, like that lap was amazing. And I think he was a few hundredths behind me. And I'm like, holy cow, it looked perfect. And my brother like looks at me and he's like, you realize that looked like you. And I'm like, what? It doesn't compute in my brain that's what I looked like. It's the same thing when I go play a show. I know all the little flaws that I did when I was up on stage. But to the person, even if they know my music, they don't know all the little things that I either modified or did to make it sound like I'm mimicking what's on the recording, to give you the illusion that I didn't make a mistake or that I didn't modify something so that it sounds correct. The model car is an illusion, right? These are all illusions.
Yeah.
They're pieces of art. So it's kind of, so it's kind of hard to sit there and go like, is it a perfect, like, obviously there's a point, right? There's a tipping point where you can sit there and go, well, that's obviously not right. You know, when we start getting to the point where wheels aren't pointed in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about when you get to a certain level. We were just talking about real quickly during the break. We were looking at certain models in a magazine, and I bet the majority of people that look at those models go like, those things are perfect. It's so going to be so difficult for the majority of people to find flaws with those things. I would say it's completely subjective.
So by that, then what Chuck was saying about handing me a model and saying, take a look at it, see if you can find something wrong with it. And then he said that after a while, I might find something, right? And my thinking is, am I really finding something, or am I having a question about something that it's my opinion is that looks like it's more like the beep beep horn rather than the windshield wiper motor, that kind of a thing.
So you're saying, so what you're saying is maybe wow,
is
man,
it really
Brian
wrong, or
something pretty good, I guess?
So is it really wrong, or is it something that I think might be wrong, or something I am not 100% sure could be right? Because this is the thing that challenges me when I'm judging. Is this really incorrect?
Is it intentional?
Or is it intentional? Or is this something that might be subjective to my own personal set of filters that I've developed for
it? You guys messed me all up, because I was expecting to come into this saying there's no perfect model, done, we're done. But now
just want to ruin the show, don't you?
You guys just screwed me all up.
Got the can opener for the can of crap.
Wait, so
I am really hard on myself when I build a model, though. I am really, really, really hard on myself.
Sure, I think we all are to a certain degree.
Are we really talking about differences in wiper motors? Making something not. So when I think
that's an inside joke.
Well, I know it's an inside joke, but it's obviously been talked about, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's more of
Well,
a flaw of the kit manufacturer than anything else.
Yeah. So when I think, crap, my mom, I got a mistake. I got a piece of dust in the roof, or I got, a glue smudge on something somewhere, or what stemmed this whole thing, the scratches on the side windows of my USAC build, because I dropped it on the floor 73 times.
73?
73.
Oh my
And-
good
and-
lord.
Thank goodness
73.
you didn't do 74.
And 55 of those times I kicked it under the desk even further. So they're like, it's super scratched up, right? And I tried to polish it and clean it up as best I could, but I couldn't get it perfect. And I said that. So are we talking dust specks and window scratches and glue smudges not
Yes.
making a build perfect? Or are we talking, that's the wrong carburetor? Or,
Right. Well,
that.
I would say it even goes as far as this model kit has the wrong dimensions in it.
Yeah. So
Because you can build the hell out of something. Because I actually had this happen to me. I was working on a General Lee, and I was using the
you were
1969.
generally?
Generally
He
speaking,
was working. on
Okay,
it.
yeah, okay.
it
What were
was
you working on
Different
again?
waitress.
it was the General E, as in
Oh, it was electric.
yes, it was electric. It was a shocking build. I loved it. So I'm working on this car, and I'm using the Pro
bad.
Model Series 69 Charger, which
Yeah.
has the vinyl roof on there. So I'm at a build night we're hosting here at the house. No, actually we're at a friend's house, and I start sanding on that to take that roof texture off of there. Setting in for the long winter's night to do that. And then my friend goes, "Why are you using that model body?" And I'm like, "Well, this is what came in the kit." And he goes, "No, that's the wrong issue." There was like two issues for that particular box art. One had a greenhouse that was too tall, and the one that had like the more correct greenhouse height. And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, if you want it to look right, you should use the right body." And I was going to be like, I don't care. I got the half the stuff sanded off here already. He goes, No, let me hook you up. And he ran upstairs, grabbed the right body, came back down, gifted it to me. And he's like, "Use this. It's going to look a lot better." And I compared the two body roofs and there was definitely a difference in the roof height. So I
Wow.
was like, that was going to be very cartoon looking when I got done with it, right? So I went ahead and used the body that he gave me, and it looked really awesome. And that's what started me thinking about scale, whether or not scale is such a huge factor when it comes to model building, because nobody has scale 100% perfect. The
Yeah.
dimensions are. The technology today is getting us closer and closer and closer to that. But back when they had to go draw chalk outlines on cars and measure everything and all that kind of jazz, how far is the fender from the wall and all that kind of jazz.
I know one
there were
person that
mistakes.
does that.
There are mistakes, and chief among them, in my mind's eye, is the Monogram 69 Camaro. That looks like
That's
it came out
exactly
of
what I was thinking of.
a comic book, right? Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah.
That one right there. Matt's holding up. Not only that is made out of sandwich bread, the color, but
Exactly.
so you could build the hell out of that, but somebody might not like it because it doesn't look the way a Camaro should look. So does that disqualify that as being a perfect model?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It does.
Yeah.
For-
I think
So
it does.
the amount of variables that are quantified I'm using big words, I'm sorry, that are quantified in this
My brain
modeling
hurts.
hobby.
I'm so
In this modeling
confused.
hobby are
You
just,
get those emails too?
I get those emails too. Word of the day, quantifiable.
What?
Wait,
So-
let me write that down.
Okay. It's the wrong end of the pen, Matt. So yeah, so the amount of variables that we have, if you just build an engine, you can probably do a really great job and build a perfect engine, but then you put it into a car that might have some sort of flaw. So
Boy, I would think it would take a lot of work to build the perfect engine.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
I could build a perfect engine, but I'm never going to build a perfect car to go with it. I mean, Chuck's GTO. I hate to have to keep coming back to this, but it was very highly detailed. Does it have everything in it should have? Probably not. There's probably something missing.
I'm sure
Go
you
ahead.
can find something wrong with it. I mean, it's just that's just how hard I am on myself, though. I get where Billy's coming from. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anything's. I mean, in my life, I guess I don't think anything is perfect.
Right. Well, so that's your opinion, and that's fine, and that's also my opinion. But there are people out there that do think they've done a perfect job, and how do you tell that person that they're wrong?
Well,
usually
you don't
when
cross
tell
that
person
line, I
they're
guess.
wrong,
Well, I'm just saying, there's some people out there that Matt, we see it a lot on your Facebook group.
Yeah.
People that think they have done the perfect job.
Billy, do you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, add something,
I
Bill.
thought Ted was going to say something.
Okay, I saw you raising your finger.
I was going to say that usually those people who think that they've done a perfect job, when you tell them otherwise, that information usually ricochets right off of them. So
yes,
at that point, it's just it's not worth your breath to try to expand further.
Nice and perfect. I mean, they're not the same.
Nope, they aren't. Nope.
I mean, there's a lot of nice models.
I really go for a combination of done and on time.
even extremely nice models. I mean, is that close enough to perfect?
Well, no, because as Billy was saying, it's almost like a philosophical point of view when it comes to perfection.
There's so many ways to look at it.
Yeah,
right.
This is the problem, is because we are creating illusions here. Because especially when you start dealing in scales, that it is so difficult. I will give an example. I have noticed, so I've been to 8 shows now, and I notice, and people are not gonna, I'm gonna kick a hornet's nest here.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I notice that I have 2 things that will definitely turn me off of when I look at a model. That is wiring and flocking.
So you don't like the flocking wiring?
I don't like the flocking wiring.
Nice.
So,
nice.
And what I'm saying is, it's not that I don't like those things. It's that 9 times out of 10, it's not that I don't. How do I put this? It's their model. They can choose how to do it. That's totally fine. I think people need to build it however they want. I look at it in the way that if I'm going to build something, I've noticed that wiring, no matter how well it looks to be done, oftentimes looks weird to me. There is something about the way the wires lay in the engine bay.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Great point.
And the way that the wires in scale, quite often, not all the time, sometimes it's done so well that I'm like, wow, that is done excellently.
Oh yeah,
and when it is done right, done right, man, it sets that engine bay off just with same thing with battery cables and the whole, like, hoses don't seem to elicit that kind of reaction from me because those tend to look a little better. Like, I don't know why, they just tend to look a little better. But spark plug wires, battery cables, the same thing with flocking. It seems to be, if it is not done just right,
I agree.
It looks very fuzzy, or it
more
looks
so
thick.
More so on the wiring, though. I would say, because have you ever seen the spark plug wires that are like way too thick and they're coming out the center?
Yes,
and
it's like a water fountain.
They're they're 3 times the size of what they should be.
Yeah, and sometimes even if they're in scale, they like lay odd. So where I'm
you got to bend
from,
them right.
So where I'm coming from is I would rather see somebody
not do it,
not put those in there, and just have a very clean, nicely paint detailed engine bay, and in my brain, let me fill in the gaps. Because to me, that would be a more perfect model. Than putting in the engine wire, the spark plug wires, and the battery cables, and having them destroy the illusion that my brain is creating.
I've noticed.
Go ahead.
I've noticed a lot of time the same thing. Wiring. If you don't remember that certain stuff has gravity, right? So
Yes.
you've got to remember that. If it's not done, like you said, the correct way, it bugs me with wires. Gravity. Remember that, people.
Mhm.
But flocking always looks too heavy to me.
Mhm.
Every model I've seen, and I've seen some really, really nice award-winning models, the flocking always looks it looks like it's a deep pile shag carpet.
I've seen it done in a few instances where I was like, man, that is super well done. Like,
Yeah.
it's just most cases, there's something that just looks a little off. And again, people can look, I'm an idiot on the internet. Do not take what I'm saying to heart. If you want to build it that way, please.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do it however you want. I'm just saying, if we're talking about I'm trying to give an example of how it is subjective in the opinion of what is a perfect model. And for me, where somebody might go, that doesn't destroy their opinion of what a perfect model is, right? So in my opinion, that does. I get really particular about how colors complement and contrast. So where BG's talking about the greenhouse maybe too tall, that probably won't enter into my opinion, because quite honestly, again, I'm an idiot on the internet. I probably won't notice. It'd have to be super egregious for me to like pay attention to that, right? I'm going to notice color. I'm going to notice finish. I'm going to notice, like I said, like if you've got your engine bay open and I see the plug wires, those are the things I'm going to notice.
Yeah.
Where other people are going to notice the greenhouse part of a car.
And some people have an eye for dimension. Some people have an eye for color. Some people have an eye for deep shag pile carpeting, but can pick it out. But an over detailed engine compartment can be hard to look at.
Are we going back to the confetti cannon?
Yeah,
I think
the blue ox detail cannon.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's serious, because the 125th/124 scale cars, it's like when you're drawing. If anybody out there has any reference to this, but when you're drawing, you don't have to draw every single little detail, because sometimes it just becomes noise to your eye, and then it gets ignored, or your mind fills in the gap that's there. So you kind of your brain fills in the gap, so you see what's not really there, but you have to just give the mind the idea, this is what we want to see. But it's I have to agree with Billy. The perfect model, it's definitely subjective, and it comes down to the beholder of that subjectivity.
Yes.
So somebody might say that's not the perfect model because I don't like the car you built. I don't like Mustangs or whatever.
For those people that really
whoa.
I feel seen.
But in fairness, the Mustang guys have brought it on themselves.
We're gonna go there.
I'm just saying.
I've never hit anybody.
Talk to some of your Fox body buddies and get back to me.
About a month ago, a Mustang went through the block wall over here.
Oh God, really?
No lie.
I think for those people that are really into accuracy, you'll probably get a different answer. People that are, when we did the slot car stuff, when I owned a hobby store and we did the 32nd scale slot car stuff, we had several train guys that were into that hobby as well. And when you talk to train guys, they have a different perspective on scale accuracy. And so I'm sure that if you talk to folks like that, the enjoyment that they get out of the hobby is going to be different as far as the accuracy of something. So I'm sure that their perception of perfection is going to be much different. So Again, it
Yeah.
just comes down to the subjectivity of it.
So
But
really good point.
I got to mention this when you talk about what could possibly, maybe we'll say that, what possibly could be like the perfect model or the builders that built the perfect model. I've got 3 names: Randy Durr,
Mark Jones,
Mark Jones, and this guy I sent you guys pictures of. This guy from BG, you know who he is? That William David Cunningham.
Oh yeah.
I went over and just stared at his stuff when I was at Acme. It's like Dennis Smith, the boss. He says, "You got to see this, guys. You got to see this." And these guys, they do a lot of scratch building. And like Randy Durr, if you sit and you talk to him about it, I have this long conversation with him because he was on my old podcast, and does he would probably even say, it probably isn't perfect, to him, but that guy goes to such amazing great lengths, like to fly to the south of France to measure the frickin' real car that he's building a model of. Most of his, like that Corvette, most of it was scratch built. He does a build sheet, layout plans, engineers the whole thing, and it doesn't matter how much money or time he put into one little part on that model car. If it's not right, it's gone, and he'll start over again. Builders like that, which I am not, nor do I ever want to be, because for me, life's too short. But that's what they enjoy. And you look at guys like, and I know you have personally, Chuck, you personally know Mark Jones. I met him a long time ago, but from talking to Randy Deere, what I get from Mr. Cunningham there, that those guys, they're, I don't know, they're like cut from the same cloth. They're like a different.
and
them at
they're
a
humble,
different shelf
very
than the
humble
rest.
people too.
They are the
Super humble.
nicest, most approachable, humble guys, and you can ask them anything.
You remember
years ago, Mark Jones, when he was on his Super 7 kit, he built 638 Super 7s. And this was when we were on the Spotlight Hobby Forum, all of us, and he would drop pictures, and
insane.
I'd look at him and swear to God it was a real car. The oil filter, and then there was, the late Augie Ascano, which coined a phrase that's been going through our hobby forever, is treat every little part as its own model. And Mark Jones and Randy Durr, they take it to that level where the oil filter is a freaking model. The starter is a model in itself. I think, though, if anybody has achieved and reached that point of having the perfect model built, it would be those 3 gentlemen. There's probably a couple of people, please forgive me out there.
Here's the thing: is I said in the beginning, I say there's no perfect model, but if anybody comes close, in my head, in my heart, in my soul, I believe it would be Mark Jones or Randy Durr or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I watched Mark Jones building that Lola.
Yeah,
and my God, it took my breath away. There was pictures he put up that I was blowing them up, and I was still thinking that they were real. And even the background, the concrete that he had it on, I mean, it looked like it was a real.
Oh,
it was,
I remember
literally
the first time I saw
blew my
one
mind.
Of his Super 7s, and he posted a picture of it, and I was like, "That's real. There's no way that has to be real." And it was mind blowing, and these guys, and like what Billy was talking about, and I agree with him. I get really particular about, if you're going to detail the engine, I'm very particular, ProTech, of the product I use for doing like spark plug wires, and I will plug ProTech all the time. But I'm sorry, that is just, nobody does anything better.
I'm sure they use the same thing. So
that it's the color, the texture, the size, and the way you can make it lay down and it stays. And you look at like that picture I sent all of you here, emailed you or text you guys, that engine of William Cunningham's, and you saw his wires, and he was giving, you saw that look of weight and gravity, and they were correct size and sheen and everything. And that's something that you know, in order to strive for that perfect model, you got to pay attention to all that stuff. And I like I said, probably the biggest thing is what told by some extremely good modelers, and I know those guys all feel that way. Guarantee you talk to this William Cunningham, he would say the same thing. It doesn't matter how much money you put into whatever section of that model. If it's not right, it gets tore down and you do it again. If you had 500 hours in it and it cost you $500, big deal. I want the model to be perfect. That is where you get, and I don't do that. And I'm fine with it.
So that begs this question. You know, we're talking about Mark Jones, Randy Durr, William Cunningham, all these great builders and stuff. I'd even put Jay Severese and Clay Kemp into that category too, right?
Yeah.
So very well-known people in our community. Do you guys feel that there are people out there that are building in their own private space, never sharing what they're building or doing, and doing even better?
Probably.
Of
course.
No doubt.
Yep.
Is that insane to think about, that there's somebody out there
Yeah.
who's doing it better, but they just don't want to share it with the world because they don't need to?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just insane to think about, right?
I would almost say there's not many.
No.
Perhaps
No.
now, yeah.
They are a very small percent.
But yeah, that's just blows my mind to think about that.
And
I mean,
going back to what Billy was saying about the guys who do like model railroad stuff, I can pretty much guarantee that there are individuals like that who they obsess over every single detail, like recreating everything scale accurate down to even the smallest details that you wouldn't know to look for in a scale that size.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Like,
it would not surprise me at all.
Like, yes, I make my own 1/25th scale screws. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Well,
There
and what I
is
do notice,
there is a gentleman that lives across the street from me who I've met, believe it or not because he's my neighbor, but he introduced himself at a show local to me. Hey, I'm your neighbor. And I was like, what? And he says, yeah, I'm not so much into models, anymore. I'm more into HO scale train sets. And he pulls out his smartphone and he says, this is an HO scale train car that I just finished. And I'm looking at it and I blow it up on his phone and it looks real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's HO scale.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
Crazy,
I heard you say something about wanting, asking questions about weathering. Come on over. I'm like, you are the guy I'm going to go see because.
Yeah, I started my weathering path by being into HO scale model trains and was learning how to do that.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, and that guy, I've lived here going on 6 years. Until I saw him at the Sanford show, never saw him a day in my life. Never see him outside, never see him downtown. Nicest guy you ever meet, but
that's because he's living in his little boxcars.
It just speaks to that, right? He's just private and quiet and loves his HO trains and is amazing at it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows.
You know what? I'm going to go around to all of my neighbors and just knock on the door and be like, hey, what are you working on? What's up? What's you working on?
Do you like trains?
Right? You won't get arrested quickly.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I just have to say one knock ahead of the police. That's all.
So could we take a vote?
A vote
with us 6 people and come to a conclusion?
I think it's going to be unanimous.
I don't think a majority rule is warranted.
I was going to say real quick. I think as we're talking, one thing I started to think about, and I think I have noticed, is that not that the scale that we kind of primarily deal in, 24th, 25th scale, If you do the Tamiya F1 Cars 20 scale. The larger the scale is,
That's a very good
the
point.
more, if you were trying to say accuracy is perfect, possibly the more perfect you could be. Because theoretically, you have an easier, easy is not meant to be like, oh, it's so easy you did that. But what I am saying is the possibility of producing detail at a level that would not be cluttered.
Yeah.
That is possible. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you built a 12 scale or an 8 scale car,
you
like
just changed things for
Dur,
me.
Right. So at Dur or something, if you're building a larger scale car, maybe at that point, the larger the scale, maybe there is a tipping point where you could start getting into the technical aspects of its less illusion and more technically speaking perfect. So maybe there is a balance there, because I started thinking about the Lola and I started thinking about the Corvette, and I'm like, well, maybe there is a tipping point.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And to go back to the model train world, you get an N gauge train set, which is, I don't know, 178. I don't remember how small it is, 1/100th, something like that. And then you have an HO scale, which is 1/87th. I do remember that one. And they have the same level of detail on both sizes, but the smaller one is going to look better to your eye because it's smaller and it doesn't need that much enhancement to make it look realistic. Whereas the HO, if you don't do, and this of course breaks it down into different brands like Bachmann, all that kind of stuff. Some brands have better detail than others, but the larger in scale you go, the more detail you have to add to it to make it look more realistic, or else it gets toyish. So is that kind of like what you're talking about, Billy?
Yeah, there's a balance. So if you this kind of comes up in, if you were judging at a show, where if you get a 12 scale put in with a 24th or 25th scale car, right? When you go to judge a car and they've got all this, they just have more room, right? And so it's a double-edged sword for the larger vehicle. They have room to put more stuff in there, but they should be putting more stuff in there. But on the other hand, well, yeah, it should look nicer because they have more room.
That's a catch-22.
Yes. So you have that push-pull, whereas when you're dealing with a 24th, 25th scale, you're kind of letting your brain fill in the gap.
Yeah,
so
this is where I'm going to say you're right, is because there's this company that's on, that I've watched them on YouTube. I forgot the name, but they built like the 917K Porsche, big, large scale, and they make them like they're
Poacher or whatever it is. Is it the Poacher
I think they start off with those kits, but it's a company that
okay.
sells them for a lot of money, and they sell them to people for tens and tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, holy cow.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think that's when you start getting into perfection. And,
what are you saying, Billy, that, because this is what my brain is saying, the bigger the scale, the more detail you can fit in there, but the harder it's going to be to make it look right.
Yes.
Because
you
get
can't
into
budget.
Exactly.
Right. And then you get to a more of a less subjective perfection thing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yep.
I think that, yeah.
So if you're doing a 125th scale car and you just put in some spark plug wires that are yellow, run them to the cylinder, to the spark plugs and cylinder heads, great, done. Moving on to the next thing. That's how I do it. And then you go on to like a 1/12, 1/8 scale type of thing. Those spark plug wires will have to have the proper color boots. You're going to need to be able to see the spark plug collar sticking out there a little bit. And you're going to have the actual printing on the spark plug wires of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Right. So if you apply your same techniques to the 12th or the 8th scale car that you might do a 24th, 25th, or 32nd scale car, right? You might run into a problem where your your subjectivity now kind of starts to go out the window for that quote unquote perfection part, because that same technique no longer applies, because now like I was saying, where I look at plug wires in a 24th, 25th scale car, and I'm like, I would say your car might look better without it. Now you look at that and you're like, well, yeah, your paint detail looks great, but boy, it sure looks weird without plug wires.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right,
there
right,
still
yeah.
is probably a level of subjectivity there, but maybe it's not quite the same. Because like I said, as we were talking about it, and then you guys mentioned the Lola and the Corvette, and I'm kind of like, well,
Yeah.
those guys really went the extra mile. Like, those things are done, but could you do that in a 24? I'm sure to a degree you can. I'm not saying you can't, but what I am saying is the capability of doing that in a larger scale, like I said, is not easier. It is super difficult, but the space you have to work in is easier.
Mhm.
You want to take
does that take out some of the subjectivity?
You can take this and do a total 180 and say you can have the perfect. I mean, you can be on the hunt or the search for the perfect box stock model.
True.
Yeah, I guess it's all how
Yeah.
you frame it, right? It's all how you frame what you're looking at.
What you're after.
So what Chuck's saying is that perfection has different categories.
Yes.
It does.
I mean, seriously,
theoretically, if you're
that
doing
would
it,
be right.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you're doing it as a judge, right,
Mhm.
then you throw some of the things that I have an issue with right out the window, because you can't judge on that.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
this all goes to say we didn't answer your question at all. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bob's your uncle.
I think we actually we got close. I mean, there is no perfect
No, that was
podcast,
that
right?
was great.
Yeah.
No,
Not
there is
yet.
no
Not
perfect,
here.
Of course
There's
it
no-
was.
There's no perfect anything, but we all can strive to be better.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
So no perfect podcast, but still give us 5 stars because
Yeah,
that makes our
please.
moms happy.
Yes,
Yes,
for the
5
love
stars.
of God, please.
All right, cool. So shall we ask our guests our favorite questions?
Oh,
I think we should ask our guests our favorite questions. if I
Okay.
can remember
Should we?
mine.
Do we all remember our favorite questions?
I don't. I never.
I
do.
remember mine. I remember mine.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
remember everybody's, and I remember Matt just usually pulls something out of his hat at the last second. So we'll go Matt last.
yes,
please.
Matt last. Give him some time to think.
Matt last. That's his new. That's his new YouTube
Matt
channel.
Last.
Matt last.
I'm gonna change. I'm going for that. I like that.
All I
Matt
can think of
Last.
is the old, what is it, Oh, never mind.
Matlock.
Mike,
yeah,
Matlock.
Houston.
Matlock.
I guess
Matlock.
there's a new. I have to Dave right here for a second. There's a new Matlock TV show on TV, and now on TV, of course. And Linda's always like, "Do you want to watch the Matlock?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to watch Matlock." And I find out it's like a complete like reimagining of it. So every time it pops up on our watch feed, I'm like, Matlock.
They're actually doing that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our TV pick for this week.
All right.
Chuck, do you remember your question?
Yes, I do. And I
Okay.
think I know Billy's answer to this.
All right. Cool. Well, then let's just go to Jason. Then Jason,
My question is,
try to get Jason to spit it out.
you guys build model. You guys build model cars. Do you have a? What do you guys got in your garage? Is what kind of car? You guys got classic cars in your garage, or if you if you don't, have you ever owned one? How's that?
Okay. Yeah, I'll bite. I'll bite, Chuck. So yeah, right now,
Promos are important.
right now, I've got a 2015 Chrysler 300 S, and yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's the main reason I got it was I fit. It was comfy.
Right.
You
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Definitely not driving a Honda with a car seat in the back. That's this
So
guy.
are we saying
Exactly.
that
Doesn't have to be
You-
classic. It can be a hot rod, whatever your hot rod is. That's what I mean.
Yeah, my classic car is very much the one that got away when I was in college ages and ages ago. I was actually able to buy a '55 Chevy 210 from the original owner, who had stopped driving it. He had parked it in his garage years prior because of some health issues, and I was lucky enough to essentially get it for a song, because prior to him selling it, he hadn't turned it over, started it in like God knows how long, but when he did fire it up, revving the engine, he thought he threw a rod. And so, because he wasn't sure what was wrong with the engine, he just like cut the price way down for this kid. And we trailed it, brought it home, and stuff had seized up. But after a while of just babying the thing, we were able to get it running again. And unfortunately, after I got it running, I went off to school, and that I ended up during the course of school having to sell it in order to be able to do real world stuff. And so my one that got away, like it haunts me to this day. I do remember being an irresponsible young lad who actually when I drove it, we had taken the bench seat out of it, and I actually had a folding chair that I was using, and we had we had
As
bolted
one
like
does.
Comfortable.
yeah,
As
we
one does,
bolted
yeah.
an L bracket on the on the base of it, just where one of the where the bench seat was in place, and I just chalked a folding chair in it, and was doing my 3 on the tree thing with my head on the headboard and or the headliner, and it's like just having a grand old time. So one of these days I'd love to go and get myself another 55 2-door post and relive my glory days. But right now just rolling Team Mopar for the moment.
That's
Well,
one of my favorite cars. So
I can
one
tell
of
you
my
right
dream
now, you
cars.
can probably get that folding chair for a good price, but I don't know about the 55.
Wow.
But that's awesome, dude. Billy, how about you? Your response for Mr. Chuck's question?
Try to make this as quick as possible. So I've been lucky enough to have a wide variety of things. I guess the first thing I had a Super Beetle. Does that count?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it counts.
Yeah, I had a
Got the word
71.
super in
I had
it.
a 71 Super Beetle. Let's see. I was fortunate enough to race sprint cars. I know that's not exactly, but I was fortunate enough to race sprint cars. Then I've had a slew of super bikes that I rode, and then
Super.
01 GSX-R 600. Then I had an 04 R1, and then I have a Ducati 1198, and then I had a 09 Dodge Viper ACR, and I traded that in for a 2016 Challenger Hellcat, which I still own. That BG laughs at me. That is my daily driver.
I love
I
it.
drive that thing everywhere.
That's awesome.
I love having a car you have to switch off at the drive-through so you can place your order because it can't hear you.
Yep.
I thought you had a
shut her off.
Skyline.
I do. I have a 95 R33 GTR.
Yeah.
And I also have an 08 Lexus ISF.
When'd you get that?
I've had that forever.
Oh, you never told me about that one.
It's one of those that
I guess we're not friends.
we're
So-
not
Hey,
friends.
sir.
So what we're
Good
saying,
day.
here is, not only does Billy have, he used to race cars. He's in a rock band. He has a slew of cool cars. He's the perfect person
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Will you
I
marry me,
can't play
Billy?
basketball.
Come on up here. Listen, you come up here. Bring all your stuff with you.
Jason wants to be
and-
one of your sister wives.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just
got
take care of the
room.
cars?
Yeah,
Just
that's
take care
it.
of the cars?
Yeah, that's all. Just let me drive one.
I am so opposite of Billy.
Oh, we know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, we know. Okay, guys,
Wow.
let's go to Jason's question. I know Jason
All
has a
right.
fun one.
Okay, so the zombies are coming. The zombie apocalypse is here. They're headed up the street. You've gotten your family to safety. You've only got enough time to grab one model kit out of your stash. Just one. What's it going to be?
Yes. Do I get to grab the DeLorean so I can go back in time?
Back in time and get more.
Only if you own a real one.
Damn it.
you might be able
So
to get
close.
that skyline fast enough.
Right.
Okay, let's go with Ted for this one on the first.
Oh, I was going to defer to Billy, but I know the one right off the top. That would be the '66 Malibu Street Rat, the
What?
red boxed Street Rat.
Are you
Nice.
trying to start something with me again?
You know what, Matt? It's not always about you, okay?
Oh,
Thank
yeah?
you.
Not-
Oh
Yeah,
my
no
god.
joke.
I did.
Holy cow.
That's
Like,
her new
we're-
podcast slogan. It's not always about Matt.
We got to put that on a shirt.
No, but like that kit holds a special place in my heart because it was I never actually got the red one back in the day when I first was building. I built the black 66 a couple of times. The first time I attempted it, it went horribly, but then years later I was able to get another copy and do a fairly worthwhile job of it. And I may or may not have the latest reissue of it sitting, waiting to get started on in my stash at the moment. So
Nice.
First model kit I
That's
ever
mine.
built.
Because this is the year of the Malibu.
indeed it is.
Malibu. Billy, what you
I-
got?
I have no idea how I'm going to
Oh,
answer
boy.
this at all. This is not going to happen for me. I would probably get eaten by the zombies trying to figure out which one I would grab.
Suffering from decision paralysis.
Oh, yeah. Analysis paralysis would hit, and I'd be like, I just have too many. I'd be like, just take me.
Jeez.
I know what you would
Jeez.
grab. You grabbed that Tamiya 205.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. There we go. I would probably have to pick off of box art. I don't know that I have like enough. I don't know if I've been building long enough to have like that strong pull towards one kit. So probably I would probably grab one of the, what we were talking about. What is it? David Lord? Is that
David
that
Lord.
his name? Yeah,
the
probably
monogram
one
race
of
car.
those kits. Probably the first one I could reach of those just because of the box art. It'd probably be one of those.
That one or the one that just got delivered by the mailman on the porch. You just grab that and run.
Yeah,
Easiest.
I'm taking something and just hauling yeah.
Opening it up as you run, going, "Oh, it's this one! Damn it!"
Chuck,
Decals
that's
are
not a
bad.
model. That's a trophy.
Yeah, right. Oh crap!
There's no glass in this one. Damn you.
Matt, have you got your question figured out yet?
I do. I
Okay,
actually
cool.
remember the one from the last time.
Cool. Then I'll go first. So no, just kidding.
I love that.
All right, you go
Brian's
ahead,
on
Matt.
it today.
All right. Okay, guys. This might be another brain burner, but what is of a kit that you really want, your holy grail that you do not have? What is your holy grail model car kit?
Good one.
That I don't have. I guess Yeah, I guess I'm in luck here because my wife doesn't watch my YouTube videos and she doesn't listen to the podcast either. So,
You're a lucky man. You're a lucky man.
Oh boy.
But
Wow.
yeah, open confession may be good for the soul, but it certainly isn't healthy for other things. So, let's see. I think the holy grail that I don't have, and I'm still very much on the hunt for. And no, Brian, I'm not going to mess with you about the Datsun 510s anymore. It's actually Tamiya's Aston Martin DBS.
Oh,
Do you mean
yeah.
You
no,
really
exactly.
don't have to do it,
Well,
Brian. I know, and you don't have to do that to me here on the podcast.
Let's see it, Brian.
Oh,
I
I'm
want to see
doing
what
it.
it is.
Yeah,
Dude,
you know what? I brought it on myself. That again, I was just saying, open confession. Like, here it is.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yes.
look at that.
Consider my face officially rubbed in it.
What is it?
Oh,
You want me to grab mine just to do it? I could get mine and hurt a little more.
See,
Nah, I won't.
See, just dogpiling. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where I know that it's no longer being like manufactured, and from the scuttlebutt that people have like talked about, apparently licensing, it's not due to come back. So yeah,
Really?
I keep seeing it on
Dang.
eBay and the like, and it's just kind of like
Yeah, going for
it's
stupid money.
What's it
too
go for?
expensive to buy.
It's close to like 100 something.
Oh,
No.
the guy I got this from was wanting 125 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time I saw it online a while back, the cheapest one was like 180. So, which is like,
Wow.
Dang.
Mm.
I mean, I'd be willing to own it at 180 bucks, but I know that all these neuroses and the like wouldn't allow me to build it at 180 bucks. So,
Yeah, that's what we can.
that's why it remains elusive at this point.
And it
Especially if
hurt.
especially if you pro street it.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts
gosh.
so freaking bad. Oh God,
that 3D
You don't
printer will
wanna-
be working overtime.
you don't want to
Oh
know
my
what I
God.
got planned for mine. But when I
Yeah.
bought mine, I was like, "Oh man, $50! Ah, I gotta have it. Oh,
I think I might have it. I'm not sure.
You're gonna paint it with Rust-Oleum, aren't you?
Yep.
oh yeah, you know it.
Would you
Then
like
I'm
to
gonna
see?
climb up on the roof and throw myself off.
Would you like to see what I paid for it?
No
Oh,
way.
my Lord. That's a 3 and a 0 for everybody listening at home.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to say it.
and I thought I hated Chuck.
Hey, that's their first
yeah.
paint bill for Brian. Yay. Oh,
Oh, it's not my first. It's just the one that's spoken aloud.
oh.
Oh,
Womp womp.
You want hate mail? Become an IPMS judge. That'll
There
hook
you
you
go.
right up. All right. Let's see.
Um,
So, Billy, did you answer that one yet?
No,
track.
but it's kind of along the same line, any of the David Lord stuff. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the Harry Gant stock car, the Skull
Oh.
Bandit stock car.
like
Because
those
I had
two
it when
right
I
there?
was a kid, and I don't know where it went.
Your dad built it,
I
chopped it.
know where it went.
Yeah, he's as Frank says, he sold it to a what was it? Gave it away to
an orphanage.
to an orphanage. Yes, that one right there. Yeah, I
Haven't seen that one.
I like
That's
that.
cool.
That box art is so cool. Had it when I was a kid. I have no idea what I did with it. I probably, if I had to guess, I know at one point I gave kits to my dad to sell, and I'm guessing that I gave him. I used to have like a Jungle Gym car that I've reacquired since then, but I gave him a Jungle Gym car. I'm guessing that I probably gave him, a handful of stock cars and some other kits. That was probably in there. I think I did that when I was like in my late teens or early 20s. And I kicked myself because I know I had that kit. So I would say the Harry Gant
Nice.
Harry Gant monogram kit.
What are you willing to pay?
What am I willing to pay? What
I got
I
one
got-
sealed.
I got
I got
5
one
of them.
sealed
How much you
also.
want to pay for one?
You're right.
So he opens up the
I
overcoat.
got
What do
this
you want?
one, and I got a sealed one.
I gotta, yeah. Look, I am not. I am the guy. I don't need these things sealed. I am perfectly fine with open boxes, not long as they're not super trashed. So
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. It's a
So how are we going to keep getting guests coming on here if we keep showing off the kits that we have to them when they talk about their Holy Grail kits?
I know, right? What's your Holy Grail? I've got 2 of those.
I got 75 of those things. You want to pay $100? I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm never talking to those assholes again.
Right. All right, my turn. So, in the world of TV and movie cars, which famous car would you want to have in your driveway as a daily driver? Let's go with Billy first this time.
Chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah.
I don't. This is a terrible question for me because I'm not.
I know. Because you don't watch movies or TV.
No.
What? You don't watch movies or TV?
I'm not.
I'm so let down right now. You are no longer the perfect human being.
Okay.
Marriage is off. I can break you down.
Just for Billy, we'll broaden it to music videos.
Yeah, even okay. Well, no, shoot, that doesn't work.
Wicker Man, Iron Maiden had a bad
the problem becomes is that if it has to be a daily driver, right? So I'm trying to think of something.
It doesn't have to be practical at all.
Dude, you daily drive a Hellcat now.
No. So here's the problem: is that my brain went immediately to Days of Thunder. That's where my brain went, right? So
that works.
That was my
brain.
So my brain went to the either the Hardys or the Superflow car, like that.
Really?
Yeah, those are.
See,
I
was asked
kind of loud and annoying.
I was asked that question by BG a few years ago on something we did, and I think it was one of our early model car guys, and I picked and I said I'd make it street legal and drive it. Was the Days of Thunder City Chevrolet Lumina.
Oh, there you go.
So you and I, we're hanging out. We're going to cars and coffee together.
But I was trying to think of something like a daily driver. I'm like, crap. And then I thought remember
daily driving that.
Yeah, well, remember the Lamborghini Countach, the white Lamborghini Countach that was in all of the posters back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
But then I don't think that was ever
really
in
rare.
any sort of movie. So I was like, well, crap, that doesn't work either. So I've given
That
it
a Cannonball?
I've ruined the whole
Cannonball.
It wasn't white.
It was black.
No, it was white, and then they hit it with a hose and it changed to red.
Exactly.
In the second,
Really?
second movie,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And also the Wolf of Wall Street, I think it was, had Lamborghini in it. There's one that he hit every car because he was on mescaline or something like that. And hit every
destroyed
car.
it.
Yeah. I only remember the car being the other color. I don't remember it being white. So there you go. Then the Countach is my car.
Right on. Ted, how about you?
I'd like to say first off that Billy's a jerk because he stole my answer. No, it's I'm dead serious. Actually,
are you kidding?
No, I'm dead serious. I was going to say the black Lamborghini from the original Cannonball Run, and the reason for that is because of what they had to do to that Lamborghini in order to get it like over here in the U.S. Like back in the time when they shot that, there were a whole bunch of like different safety regulations and the like that they had to throw together for any kind of imported vehicle. And one of the things that the Countach didn't have at the time was a front bumper, or at least a standard front bumper that was acceptable to our federal guidelines. And so when it was imported, they threw this like god awful front bumper on it. But in order to disguise how god awful it was, they actually put a spoiler on it as well.
Oh yeah,
and
that hideous wing across it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and as a kid, I thought that was the most awesome thing ever. I had no idea why it was there, but like it was the only one I'd seen, and I was just like, "That's amazing!" And so, yeah, that was going to be my answer. Thanks,
that car's
Billy.
so fast; it has a wing in the front and the back.
Right?
Yeah,
It
and
was
it
a-
had like what six or eight exhaust pipes or something crazy crap coming out of the back. Looked like a pipe organ down the road.
Yeah.
Well, it takes solace in the fact that I am an idiot and I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Usually we
man.
just say the thoughts and views are not shared by the.
No, you can just save that for me.
Okay, so the thoughts and views shared by Matt are not necessarily those of the podcast, and Billy's an idiot, so don't listen to him. Right on, gentlemen.
man.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining us because this has been a hell of a lot of fun, especially
boy,
since
yeah.
it's a Friday, so that's been cool. And if there's anything else we want to add to anything, we're going to have Jason go ahead and take us out in the outros.
Not taking anybody out, that's for sure.
Oh,
Okay, guys. If you haven't, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It helps push the podcast. Also, please go check out modelpodcast.com to find other great scale modeling podcasts. You'll find a podcast centered around whatever you enjoy building, from armor, planes, cars, Gundam, figures. Literally, it's all there. Next, there's an email in the About section of the podcast. Please reach out with your questions, topic suggestions, or even hate mail for Matt, because we really like it when that happens. Yeah, Chuck is. We don't need any more.
Chuck's old
Yeah,
cheese.
that's
Let's
old.
move on.
That's old news. That's old news. Then we have a Facebook that you can also join. Share pictures of whatever you're working on, and also contact us there. You just got to answer 3 little questions, and you're in.
Very good.
That's right.
Thank you, Jason. All right,
You're
let's
welcome.
Let's go ahead and do our sign offs. We'll start with Chuck.
Yep, Chuck with Chuck's Hobby Spot. See you on the next show. How's
Works. Like the question mark at the end.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might know.
You should
Pretty
keep
cool.
that,
sure if he'll
Chuck.
be here or not, but you know.
Chuck may have
Yeah.
read my email to him about his contract coming due, so maybe the question mark is actually useful.
That's good.
Ted, why don't you go ahead and give us a goodbye?
Oh, well, thank you for having me on the show. It was, in fact, a wonderful time. And like, thank you guys out there for listening to this podcast and supporting the channel. That's pretty much all I got. Say for maybe, why do you watch this crap?
I love this dude.
He went there. Yeah, plug your channel.
Yeah.
Oh,
your dormant channel.
That's right.
Jeez.
I'm about that life. I am. Yeah, you heard Ted, aka Ajax from Rattle Can Shenanigans. So if you haven't already stopped by and checked out my channel, please feel free to give it a look-see. You know, I might actually be compelled to upload some stuff now.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
sort of took the wind out of your sails for making videos when I asked you what was your lead-in song, and you shared it with me. So I'm like, yeah, I don't have to watch the channel anymore. I got the song saved.
Fair point.
Sorry, I did that. That was me. I did that.
Way to go.
Yeah.
BG.
Billy, how about you?
Billy Strange Auto Models, and the only way you can unsubscribe is first you have to subscribe. So just remember that part.
You want to plug your band, or
And then, if you feel like it, Skyline Red is my band. We're on all the streaming platforms. So if
Good
you wanna
band.
give that a listen, thank you very much.
really
In my
good band?
playlist.
Appreciate
They're in
that.
my playlist.
And
I
yeah,
even have a favorite
thanks.
song.
Thanks for doing the podcast, guys. On a serious note, I listen to every episode. I really enjoy it. So I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a blast. And I'm not going to say it yet. Not going to say it yet because that's
okay.
going to be weird if I say it now.
Okay, all righty.
But again,
We'll let
thanks
you
for having
end
me
it.
on.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks for listening, guys. Unlike Billy, I haven't listened to a single one of these things, so I don't know if we're good or not. So I appreciate you. Check out my channel, Blue Ox Model Shop. I do watch my own videos, though. Is that weird?
It is.
That is
It's just a
weird.
little,
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I'm not going to stop, though.
Yep.
Matt.
Hey, Matt, aka this is me, Luka C. I have the Luka C channel, but you all know that. And I'm just waiting to hear Billy's sign off because I'm like addicted to it.
Nice. And this is Mr. BG with BG Model Workshop saying thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. Also, thank you for all the awesome content that you post on our Facebook page. We are really enjoying what you guys are putting up there for the rally car build. We really like that a lot. Also want to say thank you to our friends of the channel, Iceman Collections, VCG Resins by Reese, Scale Model Garage, and our new friend, White Tanks Hobbies. Thank you all for listening, and special thanks to Ted and Billy for hanging out with us. Really appreciate that. And final thoughts for the show.
Bill and Ted.
Life will be boring as fuck if you never mess up.
Best show ever.
Wow.
Very good.
Man.
Okay, Billy.
There he goes.
Okay, Billy, go.
myself.
Do it, Billy. Do it.
Here we go. All right.
Putting him on the spot.
I can't do it anymore. There's so much pressure. All right. All right. I would thank you all so much for listening and watching. You all have been great. We have been strange. Thank you all so much for listening and watching again. And have fun storming the castle.
Storming the castle.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Chord and not yet. It's like, no, not yet. Okay, just 1 second. I have to
Oh God,
close the
not
door.
yet.
Here
Don't
we
do it
go.
now. I don't know if you notice it. It's picking up breathing.
It is.
That's Chuck.
Yeah. So if you want to make a mic adjustment, you might need to pull the mic.
How's it
just
picking
there.
up breathing?
You're breathing
Because you're
into
breathing.
the mic.
Is it? Are you sure it's me?
Yes, because it wasn't happening
All right,
before.
until you came on.
So
Yeah.
you're breathing, correct?
Yes.
We're not sure.
I hear that robot noise, but that's usually Matt.
Yeah. But now it sounds with the robot noise, the breathing, it's like Darth Vader's here with us. Okay.
Ooh, Darth
So
Vader would be a cool guest.
He would be. I
It's true.
find your lack of entertainment distressing.
But and how many episodes are you guys on now?
Like 300, I think.
I'm telling you that is some dedication. With all the technical glitches that take place on a regular basis, it's just
Right.
yeah. I'm starting to think that perhaps I'm not the only one who has a masochistic streak, as it would appear that like there are more in my general vicinity who are also addicted to suffering.
Well, yeah. My local clergyman said I could flay myself or I could do podcasts. I decided to go with podcast. Less
Correct.
cleanup afterwards.
Content creation for fun.
Content creation for fun. That sounds like a crappy
Exactly.
class.
That's like your home economics class.
Right. I'm going to teach you how to sew and leave crappy comments in the down below.
I'm sorry. Has anybody all noticed how big Chuck is? Did you change a camera?
I just moved it because you guys said it was too
No,
far
it's
away last
it's
time.
good. Usually you're like this
Yeah.
in the thing.
Yeah, I just moved
Okay.
it forward.
Nice.
Now, he did really well at Model Zona. It's just his ego.
I understand exactly where Chuck's coming from, but as somebody who built two 67 GTO kits simultaneously, yeah, I can understand the whole bit about like not wanting to revisit it for a while.
When it hit the ground, there was more parts than it came in the box. That's
That
how
sucks.
bad that was.
It hit the
And-
floor and became rabbits all of a sudden.
It's like a thing from Inception where it hits the floor and becomes 1,000 little tiny GTOs.
Exactly. I was just
Yeah.
thinking that. And then they all like scatter.
Okay, so before we get started, Ted, Billy, do you have any questions for us before we get going? Something in the outline that might have been a question.
Not yet.
Like the first thing that comes to mind is like, dude, what the hell did I sign up for? I've watched enough of your podcast to have a general understanding of like what it entails and like the personalities that are involved. I mean, granted, William over here is a wild card, but yeah, what you gonna do?
That makes me feel more sophisticated and professional. So
Right. Well, I was just going to suggest your next channel that you want to create could be William Wildcard Builds.
Ooh.
oh, and where I could discuss the finer points of the model building profession.
Can I ask one real quick question? I didn't
Sure.
get an answer last night. What hair gel do you use, Billy?
I don't use hair gel. That is
Yeah, really.
that we are more sophisticated than hair gel. Thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about the outlines before we get going? Did anybody read the
think I'm
outline?
good.
There's an
I
outline?
did.
Anything about reading?
Where are we?
I was here to talk.
Okay, let's move on to the Northeast Model Car Report with Mr. Jason.
All right. So I'm going to rifle through these as quickly as I can. Geez Louise. It's at the Old Dominion building, which is at the Richmond Raceway. Let me start this over.
All right.
Holy cow.
Somebody write down the time.
I will.
No,
I will fix it.
you know, you could have left it in,
No.
realistically. February
we're not-
22nd.
Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and start over?
Okay.
I'll just destroy you in the outtakes.
All right. You ready?
Yes. Good
Okay.
grief.
Hello and welcome to episode 34 of
Oh God!
Careful what you wish for.
Starting off with the excuse me.
I gotta go check on Felix, see if he hasn't burned the house down because he's pissed off because he's grounded and can't.
It's grounded.
Can't watch. Oh yeah, he got into his model paint and painted everything but models in one of his new jackets, and Mom was pissed. Which she was pissed at me because right when we were starting, she texted me because I sent a picture of him playing his video games. And she goes, he's not supposed to be on. You sit down and you read with it. I'm doing a podcast. Well, he's not supposed to be doing it. He's supposed to sit down and do his homework.
Hey, Ted. Can you hear me?
Do I have to answer that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Again, do I have to acknowledge that that I can hear you? 3D printing is a great hobby, and don't ever get into it.
Exactly that on the show.
No, I
last
mean,
night. Literally said it on the show last night. They asked me about the 3D printing. I said, "Funny you mentioned that." Ted and I have had extensive talks about this, and he said, and then I quoted you because I was
Joel warned me. He warned me. He warned me. He warned me.
So can we change the lyrics to that song? Mama, don't let your kiddies grow up to be 3D printers.
because Elliot runs. He's the president of the Fresno IPMS chapter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Elliot's the president of the Scale Effect. Is the president of the IPMS Fresno chapter.
Damn, I should have been
So-
nicer to him. All right, cool. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Matt, are you drunk yet?
I'm destroyed.
Okay, good.
no.
I'm annihilated.
He's destroyed.
Linda's asking how what temperature to put the stove on for the pizza tonight. Yes, it's 425. Thank you. And we're going to stop recording right now.